Hurricanes take on North Carolina in an ACC Coastal Division showdown. Both teams still hoping for an ACC championship. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luginbill in a bit. And this is a get-off-the-mat game for both these teams coming off devastating losses. North Carolina was rolling until last week. They get trounced at home by Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, Miami was unbeaten, had a lead in the second half against Florida State, but lost because of a blocked extra point. Now, speaking of getting off the mat, and we mean this in a more literal sense, Brad Kaya, the quarterback for Miami, hit a lot of late.
He's great, but it's imperative that those offensive linemen keep his jersey clean. Last week against Florida State, so many hits over the course of the game. Some were on missed assignments, some were on late blitzes, some were when guys up front just missed the block at the point of attack. And of course here, Matthew Thomas ejected rightfully for targeting. Brad Kaya lost a molar, stayed in the game. Very, very tough individual. This going to be very important for his offensive line to play very well, because he's going up against an offense in North Carolina that can score some points, Tom Luginbill, and a quarterback in Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, really going into last week, guys, Mitch Trubisky was one of the most prolific passers in all of college football. Got off track under the conditions of wind and rain. Virginia Tech made fewer errors. Don't expect to see that same Mitch Trubisky today. You're going to see timing, you're going to see tempo, and the ball's going to be pushed vertically. Mitch Trubisky should be back into his normal form.
And Elijah Hood back for North Carolina. Meanwhile, there was supposed to be some sportsmanship between the two schools going out to midfield to exchange handshakes, but there was some shouting going on between the two. And we also saw, coming out of the locker room about 45 minutes ago, Jamal Carter for Miami getting into it with Malik Carney of North Carolina. North Carolina wins the toss, elects to defer, so Miami will receive. Virginia Tech atop the Coastal Division standings. Miami will play Virginia Tech on the road Thursday night, so a short week coming up for the Canes. Carolina 2-1 in conference play. The other loss was against Mark Richt's former team, Georgia. Pitt is about to beat Virginia to go to 2-1. And the ACC Atlantic Division could be up for grabs if North Carolina State can kick a field goal with 2 seconds left, tied with Clemson. The short field goal, if the Wolfpack win that, then it will be Clemson, Louisville with one loss, and NC State atop the division at 2-0. A lot of people think the ACC is the best conference in college football in 2016. They might be right. Nick Weiler will kick it off. He gained fame after his 54-yard field goal to beat Florida State and ran down the field in a tomahawk chop in Tallahassee. He kicks this one along the sideline, and I have no idea what Malcolm Lewis was thinking. If the ball goes out of bounds, Miami gets great field position around the 40-yard line. Lewis apparently didn't know where he was or didn't know the rule. He fields it here when the ball's clearly going out of bounds, and Miami will start on the 3-yard line.
Clearly catches the football before it goes out of bounds, gets the left foot down. He's in. That's just a critical mistake to start the game, and now your offense backed up, starting out. Very difficult spot for this Hurricane team,
especially after ending last week with a special teams mistake. Brad Kaya is the Miami quarterback, junior from Los Angeles. We'll see how he throws today. Sore right shoulder after all those hits. Think of all the great quarterbacks in Miami. He's in the top 5 in passing, 3rd in passing touchdowns. Meanwhile, North Carolina State and Clemson are going to overtime. A missed 33-yard field goal by the Wolfpack. Let's bring in Tom Luginbill down on the field.
Guys, Coach Richt, from the moment the ball started sailing out of bounds, he's making the claim down here to the head linesman that the ball was already crossing over the white line. So prior to the ball being caught and received, it was already out of bounds. Not going to win that battle this time.
Plus, he's wrong. I mean, there's no way that it crossed the sideline. The return man fielded it clearly in bounds as Miami runs it here, trying to get some breathing room. Mark Walton picking up 3 yards. And again, shoving after the play, and a penalty flag. Aaron Crawford getting into it with Casey McDermott.
Personal foul, offense, number 52, half the distance to the goal.
So they saw the retaliation. Aaron Crawford looked like he got the initial push.
Blocking through right there. Little shove. You get the sense already, both these teams, North Carolina in a must-win situation to stay alive in the Coastal, and then of course Miami still in control of their own destiny, but a very important game as they try to get to their first ACC championship matchup.
2nd and 10 on the 3-yard line. Walton trying to find a hole, and he's to the 7-yard line, picking up 4. Mark Walton averages just under 100 rushing yards per game. He has 8 rushing touchdowns on the season, good for 9th in the country.
He's really good, really quick, decisive runner, and he doesn't have to carry too much of the load because they have Joe Yearby, who also splits carries with him out of the backfield.
But last week, Florida State shut him down, only 39 yards on 14 attempts. He had only 44 yards against Georgia Tech. Here's 3rd down and 6. It's play action for Kaya, and sidearms it complete to Walton, but he will not get the first down. Wrestled to the ground by Kaysen Collins, and so Miami will have to punt out of its own end zone, and they will kick it to the most dangerous return man in college football. 7 career punt returns for scores for Ryan Switzer, 1 short of an FBS record.
I talked to Ryan Switzer this summer. He said, yeah, 7 count, but it's really 10 because he had 3 called back because of penalty. He keeps doing what he's doing. There's a real chance he'll be the NCAA's all-time record holder for punt return touchdowns.
Switzer backing up and dropped immediately at the 42. 49-yard punt. Stacy Coley, who's one of their best offensive players, is the gunner, and he takes down Switzer at the 42. 22-year-old Mitch Trubisky, the starting quarterback for North Carolina, but it's taken a while. The first 2 years he was the backup quarterback. No starts, but did play 21 games. Last week against Virginia Tech, he struggled. Remember, going into that game, some were talking about him in the Heisman conversation, but he threw for just 58 yards and 2 picks in a loss to the Hokies. Here's Hood trying to get outside, drilled after a gain of 1. Big hit by Rayshawn Jenkins, and Hood is shaken up. Now, the reason Hood missed the game reportedly, Carolina wouldn't tell us for sure. They say it's an undisclosed injury, but the reports were a concussion. He took a shot from Jenkins that time. Right in the helmet. And boy, I wonder if that's targeting. Is that forcible contact leading with the helmet, or is it a clean hit?
Looks like a clean hit to me. He's falling forward, trying to lead with the shoulder. It is to the head or neck area, and now everything about the targeting rule can be reviewed.
Even if it's not called on the field.
Even if it's not called on the field.
Is that forcible contact to the head or neck area, or leading with the crown of the helmet making forcible contact?
But also you have to take into account Elijah Hood as a runner, not a defenseless player. So falling forward, certainly not a hit that you want to see a lot of, but he's jogging off and appears that he's going to be okay.
By the way, Clemson is in overtime now with NC State. That game means a lot to both of these teams. Still hoping for an ACC title. So TJ Logan in the game, and it's play action for Trubisky. And that one batted away on a high pass. Jaquan Johnson first-year starter at safety with a pass breakup, and it's 3rd and 9.
Trubisky completes over 70% of his passes, very accurate, and a better athlete than people realize, just misfiring there and setting up a tough 3rd and 9 against a very aggressive defense.
Another pass play for Trubisky, going deep, got a man wide open, it's caught, 1st down. Bug Howard, hard to miss him, he's the biggest guy on the field, at least on the perimeter, and it's a huge play, 40 yards.
Just a cover 2 alignment. That safety right there did not get over the top and allowed for the big play down the right sideline. And sure enough, North Carolina, one of the fastest teams in the country, is off and running here in the red zone.
Chris Francis gang tackled after a gain of 3. Bug Howard has made so many big plays this year, caught the game-winning touchdown with 2 seconds left against Pitt, has 3 touchdowns overall. They like to go to him down here in the red zone. 6'5", 220 pounds. Here's 2nd and 8. Trubisky in the pocket, goes end zone, and it's pulled in, and then at the last second, it came out incomplete. TJ Logan couldn't hang on. Dangerous pass with a defender. Cornelder looked like he had a better chance to catch it than Logan.
Mitch Trubisky down here in the red zone. He's got to understand, look, I'm in field goal range. I don't want to take unnecessary chances. Right here, expect another throw-off play action for North Carolina.
Carolina had just 131 yards last week. That's a penalty on the left tackle. Bentley Spain moved.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
But even if Carolina can just get points here, Larry Fedora, his offense was awful last week. Now the weather played a role, but not that big of a role. They only had 131 yards. The weather was far worse in Raleigh than it was in Chapel Hill. It's the worst offensive performance since Larry Fedora took over, the worst at the school since 1999. They got a 3rd and 13 here from the 20. Movement again by Carolina. Back-to-back false starts.
Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Miami has wanted this team to be back in the national spotlight. Here they are in the top 25. They've showed up in droves. And now Miami, the Hurricanes, have an unbelievable home field advantage here at the Hard Rock Stadium. Clearly affecting North Carolina already.
Another penalty flag. North Carolina had too many guys on the field.
There's no foul on the play. North Carolina's granted a timeout before the illegal substitution. North Carolina's first timeout.
Carl Tucker was racing off the field to avoid a 3rd consecutive penalty. And so a timeout called by Larry Fedora. Manny Diaz in his first year here at Miami as the defensive coordinator. He was at Mississippi State last year. This is a defense that's 5th in the country in fewest points allowed. They lead the country in tackles for a loss.
They attack. Manny Diaz knows the culture around the Miami defense. He's got a lot of guys. There is some veteran leadership on this defense, but they haven't played a lot. Some of these guys are juniors and seniors, but they're only starting for the first time. Trying to recreate that attacking style defense that we know and love from these Miami teams of past.
Yeah, he loves those guys, Quarterman, Pinckney, and McLeod. Even though they're true freshmen, they got a good feel for what he's looking for. 3rd and 18, and here they come. Trubisky lets it fly. Overthrown. Intended for Mac Hollins. It's 4th and 18.
A nice stand from that Miami defense. Obviously some self-inflicted mistakes, a couple false starts by this North Carolina offense, but after a big play, Miami didn't flinch and shored up in the red zone.
42-yard try for Nick Weiler. The first points surrendered in the first quarter by Miami this year. So Larry Fedora's got to be happy with that after last week, at least getting something out of the first drive. But you pointed it out, Greg, the atmosphere here. We've called games here over the years, and unless Florida was here or Florida State, it wasn't very loud at all. But it's a lot different here, the atmosphere.
And people are responding to what Mark Richt is doing. Look, this is a process. They have to rebuild this team from the ground up. They need to get some energy, and they need to get support from the people of South Florida, and clearly they've shown up here, Tom Luganville, and now they have something to build around, a good team and an energized fan base.
Well, when you consider, too, this is the first tempo offense that Miami has faced this year coming in to their home stadium. And so what does this crowd know what to do? They knew to be at their loudest when North Carolina is trying to call the offense at the line of scrimmage. They actually forced North Carolina into the substitution error because they could not communicate with their sideline. So Miami playing smart on defense. The one thing to look for, guys, and I saw it one time on that last series, when you go up tempo, if you can't line up on defense, you can't play sound defense. Let's see if Miami can continue to keep pace.
Let's see if they play smart on special teams. They're going to kick it towards the sideline again to Lewis. This one goes into the end zone, and he'll take it out. Past the 20-yard line to the 25. Miami coming in averaging 41 points per game, 16th in the country. Because of that great running attack of Walton and Yearby, what sets up the passing game for Kaya.
And Mark Richt calling plays, tying it all together. Head coach now working exclusively with the offense. You can tell this offense very buttoned up. They just need to improve along the line of scrimmage where Brad Kaya's gotten hit way too much the last couple weeks.
Here's Walton on first down. And he's dragged down after a gain of 3. You and Tom asked Coach Richt yesterday, why did you do it? What led to you deciding to not only get back into coaching so quickly after being let go at Georgia after 14 successful seasons, but calling plays? He said, boredom. I was getting bored just being a CEO. He actually got on the grease board, started drawing up plays.
I wanted to go to practice after he got done.
On 2nd and 7, a big running lane straight ahead for Walton. He'll come up a yard shy of a first down. Clemson just knocked off North Carolina State in overtime. The Wolfpack had a chance to win it. They actually made a field goal at the end of regulation, but a timeout was called by Dabo Swinney. NC State then misses a 33-yarder. It goes to OT, and the Wolfpack lose. Miami gets the first down with Walton straight ahead on 3rd and 1.
You know, Greg, Mark Richt, when he got on that board, what did he draw up for us? He drew up RPOs, run-pass options. So far on the first 3 plays, that's exactly what Miami's doing right now. They're spreading out North Carolina thin, getting the numbers advantage in the box, and they're very easily dictating their run-pass option just by formation. Brad Kaya doing a good job executing this early in this drive.
And Tom, North Carolina has struggled against the run so far this year because of a lack of continuity up front. Not surprised they're trying to take away one of these things in the RPO game.
Walton topped at the 40-yard line. Holcomb and Green team up on the tackle for Carolina. Gain of 3.
This North Carolina team has been riddled with injuries. They've had guys missing a game. Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, said, I go in. I'm not sure who's going all the time because they've been so banged up. Now they're finally getting healthy and hoping to have better performances.
They'll keep it on the ground as Walton gets the first down past midfield. Mark Walton, a sophomore from here in Miami, 18 touchdowns in 18 career games. We saw him against Appalachian State go for 80 yards on the first play from scrimmage. And he's not huge at 200 pounds, but on that particular play against App State, he bounced off a guy at the line of scrimmage. And after contact, took it to the house. So first down from the Carolina 49. It's Walton to the left. Driven to the ground, but after a gain of 6 inside the 45-yard line.
Tom, looking at this North Carolina defense, they miss a lot of tackles. They're in the right spot. They're coached well, but the execution isn't always there defensively.
And I think a little bit of that is a result of the lack of continuity you referenced and a lot of youth. They've burned a couple of red shirts in the last 2 weeks trying to get guys on the field. So you got guys thinking tough to execute full time.
Yearby, the number 2 running back, who wears number 2, won't get the first down. That's his first carry of the day. Walton already has 8 rushing attempts in this game. Going to be third down and about 2.
Right here on the 41-yard line, you got to think probably 4 down territory. So 2 chances to get it here if Miami stops short here.
And they get the first down with Yearby. Joe Yearby averages 72 yards per game this season. He did not score a touchdown last week. That's the first time this year that he did not get into the end zone. He and Walton, one of the best tandems in college football, no doubt, at running back. So a fresh set of downs for the Canes inside the 40. Here's Yearby again, and he blasts through a hole at the 30. Gets the first down to the 27-yard line.
Hey, fellas, you think South Florida high school football is pretty good? You know who was in the backfield with Joseph Yearby on his high school team? Dalvin Cook. On the same team, both Dalvin Cook and Joseph Yearby.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a better 1-2 punch than Mark Walton and Joe Yearby. But Dalvin Cook and Joe Yearby might be able to take the cake there.
Tom Luginbill, our national recruiting director for ESPN, got all those nuggets for us. Here's a swing pass. That might have been behind the line. Yearby getting positive yardage. Fist fight down the sideline with the defender, Corey Bell. And it's a gain of a handful. Nice drive here by Miami. They get closer to the red zone. So second down and 5. They'll keep it with the run game. Walton grabbed, and he's short of the marker. Third down coming up for Miami. Welcome those of you watching North Carolina State and Clemson here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The Hurricanes trailing the Tar Heels early on 3-0. Nick Weiler, a 42-yard field goal set up by a Mitch Trubisky 40-yard pass to Bug Howard. Miami, though, responding with a good drive, looking to capitalize. Third down and 2, though, for the Canes. Brad Kaya, the quarterback, overthrows the intended receiver, Mark Walton. Walton covered out in space. And so it's fourth down. Michael Badgley will come on to kick for the first time since the end of the Florida State game, where a potential game-tying extra point was blocked. Florida State handed Miami its first loss of the season. .36-yard attempt, and that one's blocked. It appeared that Jalen Dalton got a piece of it. Boy, you work on it the entire week in practice about guys getting through clean to block kicks. And you can see it there, penetration from Jalen Dalton, and Miami comes up with zip. ESPN, it's number 12, Ole Miss taking on Arkansas in Fayetteville. Ole Miss looks like a really good football team despite having 2 losses this year. Meanwhile, a blocked field goal by Jalen Dalton. Remains 3-0 Carolina. Here's Ryan Switzer. His 50th catch of the season, picks up 2.
Let's look at the field goal one more time. Look at how slow Badgley is to approach the ball. The snap's good, the hold's good, but I think Bagley's just a little bit too slow getting there, allowing defensive linemen to get their hands up and getting a hand on the ball.
Trubisky, pretty good athlete on the keeper, breaks a tackle, close to a first down. So Miami, remember, caught the opening kickoff out of bounds on the 3-yard line when the ball was heading out of bounds and would have been a penalty on Carolina. Then Badgley gets the field goal blocked. That's the 3rd blocked kick this year. Miami's had 2 field goals blocked and, of course, the extra point last week. It is a first down for Carolina, and Hood is back out there. It's a good sign for Carolina fans, but he's hit hard by R.J. McIntosh and maybe didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
Haven't seen a ton of tempo just yet from this North Carolina offense. It's warm, it's muggy. They don't want their defense to be on the field too long by going too fast offensively, so playing a little bit slower today here in the heat in Miami.
Off play action. Trubisky hits an open man for a first down. It's Carl Tucker, the tight end, out to the 47-yard line. Now looks like, Greg, they're going to go tempo. You like this after first down? You got something going?
No doubt. They're trying to substitute defensively, so absolutely ramp it up. Keep the momentum going and the pedal down.
The toss to Hood, hit in the backfield. Able to muscle forward and get positive yardage. Zach McLeod, their first for Miami.
One of the issues right now for North Carolina in their run game, Greg, is they can't get up to the second level. There was nobody to account for Zach McLeod, the freshman linebacker, one of 3 true freshman starting linebackers, to be able to penetrate that gap and make the tackle.
Logan with a huge running lane and a broken tackle. Logan inside the 30-yard line, all the way to the 23. A 30-yard run for T.J. Logan, who definitely is a game breaker with the ball in his hands.
He's a home run hitter. You see him go north and south, makes the guys miss, and he's off to the races.
Here's Switzer with a blocker out in front. Pushed out of bounds by Sheldrick Redwine. Switzer has had 2 games where he caught 30 total passes, an ACC record. He's got 2 catches in this game. The next one will give him 200 for his career. The Carolina record is 205. Logan cuts it upfield. Dropped at the ankles at the 20-yard line by Michael Pinckney. We got a stoppage of play here with an injured Miami player. 3rd down coming up, but it's Cortell Jenkins, the injured Hurricane. Back in a moment.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Some things are simply impossible to ignore. And Coca-Cola, taste the feeling.
Periods of rain, periods of sunshine, just a typical October Saturday with Miami and North Carolina doing battle here late first quarter, and a 3rd and 6 for the Tar Heels.
No Ryan Switzer in the game for the Tar Heels here. Austin Prohl in here on the bottom slot, who's his backup.
Tar Heels bring pressure. It's a screen for a first down and more to Howard. He makes it to the 5-yard line. We talked about Bug Howard being a red zone threat, but a lot of times those are on fade patterns. That was just a simple screen as they go up tempo again when they get the first down. Here's Logan, met at the point of attack, down to the 2-yard line.
Greg, I think Bug Howard got away with one there, buddy. He was past the line of scrimmage with his linemen when they threw that.
Not the most sudden guy, Bug Howard. I mean, he's 6'5", 220 pounds, but on those screens, when there's mass chaos in your face as a quarterback, having a big body makes it a little easier to find your target. So understandable why they try to find him on the third down.
And a timeout called by the defense. Second and goal on the 2 for North Carolina. Trubisky 4-4 passing on this drive. Do you like the fade to Howard or run?
Second down, run the ball. North and south all day long for me.
Tom?
I would run it right now with the quarterback.
Instead, it's a penalty flag. They were going to run it with T.J. Logan.
False start. Offense. Number 75. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So that is the third false start penalty on North Carolina here in the first quarter.
Can't happen. I don't care if you're on the road. I don't care where you're playing. When you're in the red zone, every yard is precious. You cannot make mental mistakes. The focus has to be at an all-time high as you approach the end zone.
Trubisky changing things up on second and goal from the Miami 7-yard line. Trying to extend the lead. Trubisky on a design quarterback draw. Met in the hole. Brought down by Rayshawn Jenkins, Miami's leading tackler. The 2-yard pickup. Third and goal from the 5.
Good play call there. Tried to catch him off balance with a spread formation. Now, on third and goal from the 5, there's only one receiver that I'm looking at. And it's number 84 to the top of the screen, Bug Howard at 6'5".
And the defender Cornelder is 5 feet 10 inches tall. Trubisky instead over the middle. Prohl's got it. Did he hang on? He did. Touchdown, Miami. Prohl got drilled by a linebacker, Shaq Quarterman, but hung onto the ball. Ooh, look at the right foot there. Does the heel come down or does he keep the heel off the ground?
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field is a catch for a touchdown.
Although that left foot may be down already. Hard to tell if the left foot's down, because then the right foot doesn't matter. Watch the left foot. It's down. That's a touchdown.
Great awareness.
He's actually got both feet down.
Yeah, he did.
And dude, Quarterman at 240. Prohl is about 180. Popped him right as the ball arrived. That's a great job to hang on to the football. Just like his daddy, Ricky Prohl, used to do that in the NFL. Now coaching with the Panthers.
Clearly, Austin, all those years out as a ball boy, practicing getting 2 down. Well done. And a great play call.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Terrific bounce back by North Carolina, where last week against Virginia Tech, it looked like they didn't want to be there. And they got throttled at home by Virginia Tech. Meanwhile, it looks like Miami still hasn't recovered from the loss to Florida State last week. The extra point makes it 10-0 Tar Heels. BC. Heisman hopeful J.T. Barrett, number 2 Ohio State in Madison to take on Wisconsin. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Urban Meyer says his defense has been great, but his offense still has work to do. What do you think?
That offense, they'll get going eventually. J.T. Barrett, I expect to have a Heisman-worthy performance tonight against a defense that is outstanding in Wisconsin. I think Ohio State wins that one big.
The only thing is it's a night game in Madison. Crazy things happen at night in Madison as they go for the onside kick here. How about this? And it's recovered by Carolina, and it went 10 yards. Mac Hollins with the recovery for North Carolina. And how about that call by Larry Fedora?
The surprise onside.
Dude, how smart is Mac Hollins? He looked down. He knew exactly where 10 yards was. He looked down. Watch his eyes here. He waits. He looks at the 45-yard line, waits, gets behind the 45, and then recovers it. Incredibly smart play.
He sees where his body is. He knows where he has to get to. Ball gets to the 45, and he secures it immediately. Outstanding job by Mac Hollins in field awareness.
It's under further review. The ruling on the field is the kicking team recovered the ball after it had gone beyond 10 yards.
Now the question is, did the ball cross the 45? The feet for Hollins were across the 45, but where was the ball? So again, if he touched the ball before the 45-yard line,
really close.
From that angle, it looks like he's touching it before, but is it indisputable?
It doesn't look indisputable to me. From the angle that we just saw, it looks as though the plane at the 45, the nose of the ball is crossed it.
Tell you, Greg, his feet are beyond 10 yards, but where he touches the ball with his body along the plane is not.
I don't know, Luke's, again, we have, just looking at the replay, I mean, it's awfully close.
It is.
It's hard to tell. If the ruling in the field was that he touched it before 10 yards, I think it would stand because there's not enough video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field. And again, we have a collaborative effort with Game Day Operations Center involved here. He's talking with replay official Bill Hanlon. So they got a lot of sets of eyes on this. Now during these replays, you can look to see if there was an illegal block as well.
Contact with a player prior to the ball going 10 yards. I was a little surprised, Greg. I don't know about you, but the nonchalant response of Miami.
They didn't react very well at all.
They didn't.
But there's several blocks engaged here before the ball travels 10 yards.
Thomas Jackson did hit Finley, it appeared. But again, is that indisputable video evidence? Looks like there's contact there. And this is a huge call. Because if it's overturned, Miami's got the ball in North Carolina territory.
Let's keep in perspective, too, how good Miami started this year. I mean, they had yet to allow a point in the first quarter this year. They've already allowed 10. And the offense, in the first 5 games, has outscored the opponent 45-0.
So again, they're trying to decide whether it was illegal touching, touched prior to 10 yards, and whether Thomas Jackson blocked Romeo Finley in the back before the ball was touched by Hollins. Watch 48 in white here, and then see as Finley looks like he gets contacted. You also see there on the left side of your screen Malik Young getting hit in the back by a North Carolina player before the ball is touched. It was Corey Bell for North Carolina that bumped Young. A lot going on here.
A lot to be reviewed, and usually if it takes this long, there's more than likely going to be a changed ruling because of the amount of time and due diligence they're doing in making sure they get every aspect of it correct.
Right, where to spot the ball, how much time's on the clock, all that. David Epperly is our referee.
After review, it was determined that number 18 of the kicking team blocked before the ball went 10 yards. We have an illegal block foul. That 5-yard penalty will be administered and the free kick.
So it was indeed, even though it looked like there was a contact made near the ball, but it was definitely the Corey Bell hit on Young for Miami that the officials determined was the foul right there before the ball goes 10 yards and before it's touched.
That's a good call. They took their time. They got every aspect of the review correct. And now Miami will take over with some newfound momentum.
And Greg, you talk about a loss of not only possession of the football for North Carolina in tremendous field position, you've just given Miami great field position.
Well, we're trying to straighten things out here. The referee said a re-kick. So let's just get everything straightened out here because Brad Kaya and the Miami offense on the field. And they're going to re-kick here.
Still, you're back 5 additional yards. And Miami already has one decent return. Now they also had another return in which the return man caught the ball going out of bounds. So the average wouldn't look good. But certainly with 5 additional yards, Miami might be able to make a special teams play here in the return game.
Travis Homer is deep now for Miami along with Malcolm Lewis. It's 10-0 North Carolina. Mitch Trubisky with a touchdown pass, his 14th of the season, just 2 interceptions. They will kick it deep this time and again angle it toward the near side. It's a touchback though. Miami will start in the 25. Here's Cassidy Hubbard.
Thanks, Dave. Taco Bell Studio update. Alabama and Tennessee with Bama up 7-0. Josh Dobbs picked off on a blown screen here by Ronnie Harrison. A 58-yard pick six. Alabama's 10th straight game with a non-offensive TD. Tied up 14-0 in the second. Dave, Greg.
On the way over here in the car, Lugs and McElroy are saying Alabama's going to roll, and I jump in and say, I think this is Tennessee's year to get them. That's why you're the analyst. The pencil neck play-by-play guy will do his gig here on 1st and 10 from the 25 for Miami. And they're going to run. No, it's a play-action pass and a dump off to Chris Herndon. Running room down the sideline. He's bumped out at the 47-yard line. 22-yard pickup. Beautiful skills by Kaya with the fake.
Beautiful ball handling. That's very advanced. Seldom do you see college quarterbacks that focus on the details that much to make it look so much like a handoff that the entire defense is fooled. Even our play-by-play guy was fooled quickly. I was too, but you had to talk before I did.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
Keep your head on a swivel, Dave.
I'll get the two of you later. Just wait. That's a tease for what we have coming up later. Another play action and another open receiver. It's David Njoku. You talked about the advanced ball handling skills of Brad Kaya. But you got a veteran head coach that works with quarterbacks in Mark Richt. His son John Richt is now the quarterback's coach. It's his first real job. And Mark says he's doing very well at it, working with the veteran Brad Kaya. Play fake again, and the fullback Marquez Williams couldn't hang on. We asked Mark, okay, so what does John call you? Does he call you coach? I mean, Tom, you worked with your dad, Al. I know you called your dad coach. He said, no, he calls me dad or pops.
I know it. I think I still call my dad coach. It's such a fun dynamic, though, to go to work and to be in that competitive environment and to be a young coach. And in the case of John Richt, to coach a guy like Brad Kaya, I can tell you this. Good players make young coaches really good coaches.
2nd and 10. Walton to the 31-yard line. Man, they are moving Carolina off the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and short coming up.
Possible end of quarter here. Miami trying to get to the line of scrimmage, though. Get a snap.
They're 2 of 4 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 3. Game clock at 1. And they do snap it in time. Walton trying to find a running lane. Can't. Maybe they should have waited. Nazir Jones was there for North Carolina. 4th down. This will give Mark Richt some time to talk about it. Remember, they've had consecutive kicks blocked. It would be about a 48-yarder from here. Carolina 10, Miami nothing after 1. 3 on ESPN. With Greg McElroy, Tom Luganbill, Dave Pasch in Miami. An important game in the ACC Coastal Division race. Miami trailing at home 10-0 after losing at home a week ago against Florida State. They've had all kinds of issues with the kicking game, so they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2 at the North Carolina 30-yard line. Walton is in the backfield with Kaya. Are they just trying to get North Carolina to jump? A timeout with 2 on the play clock.
Miami, their second.
Interesting.
Miami on a critical 4th and 2. Look at the shot clock and then look at the blitzer coming off the weak hand side. They're wanting to run the ball to the left. Brad Kaya recognizes that blitz is coming. There's not enough time on the shot clock to call an audible, so therefore they have to burn a timeout now to set up.
That's still bad. It can't happen, though. It can't happen in that situation off the timeout. Now play action for Kaya on 4th down. Has a receiver. It's caught. Njoku, the tight end. That was a money throw that time by Kaya. And they're at the 18-yard line.
Very good throw. Lead the receiver. Receiver has the yards to gain. You get a fresh set of downs now in the red zone.
Play fake for Kaya into traffic. And the ball comes out at the 10-yard line. It's ruled incomplete. Njoku got sandwiched by a couple Tar Heels. Couldn't hang on to the ball. But going back to what happened there prior to the commercial, it's again hard to tell whether he had possession or not. Looks like no, he didn't have it there. Even if North Carolina did that and Brad Kaya, pass interference was called on the offense. So a penalty on Miami. How is Miami not prepared, though, after the timeout for North Carolina to do something like that?
They got to the line of scrimmage. There was 8 seconds on the play clock. And they tried to get the perfect play called. And understandably so, on 4th and 2, you can't take chances. So it's better to burn a timeout than to run a play that could be set up to fail.
And Greg, did you notice when they ended up going for it on 4th down and then the subsequent down after, they just lined up actually the exact set they're in right now, 21 personnel, and they just ran the play call.
Play clock down to 1. It's 1st and 25 because of the offensive pass interference foul. Walton muscles his way to the 29, picking up 6 yards. Andre Smith, the leader in tackles for North Carolina, makes the stop. The Carolina defense under Gene Chizik that has improved over the last couple of years. Now they were better last year than this year. They don't have takeaways. They had 17 picks last year, none this year. But again, this Miami offense has been pretty good this year, and Carolina's shutting them down, holding them in check right now. Second year for Chizik. Had the most improved defense last year in 2014. Trying to set up the screen to Walton, and that thing was blown up from the beginning. He had Mikey Bart in the backfield giving Kaya problems. 3rd and 21.
Going back to that pass interference, you just can't have it. North Carolina so far defensively this year have allowed 18 rushing touchdowns. That's 123rd in the country out of 128. Now you back yourself up. You take away any opportunity to run the football. Tried to get a screen, nothing going. Now you're in an impossible 3rd and 21 situation.
And because of the kicking situation, are you in 4 down territory? Kaya gonna fire it deep. Overshot the intended receiver, Njoku. It'll be about a 47-yard field goal try. Now Badgley certainly has the range. He had a 57-yarder last year. But does he have confidence right now? The last 2 kicks have been blocked.
It's not just confidence in his own leg. It's confidence in the snapper. It's confidence in the holder, who kind of bobbled it last week on the extra point attempt. There's a lot of people and a lot of moving parts on field goals that a lot of guys don't recognize.
This one he nails. From 47 yards, Badgley puts it through to get Miami on the board.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. And the new Volkswagen Golf All-Track, soon to be everywhere.
Beautiful Coral Gables, the University of Miami campus. Now we're about, well, depending on traffic, 40 minutes to an hour 20 minutes here in Miami Gardens at Hard Rock Stadium. But really like what they've done here. Phase 2 of a 3-part renovation process. Had 4 Super Bowls here. They got another one coming up. Had a playoff semifinal here as well. It's going to come out to the 25 for North Carolina.
So far, North Carolina's been outstanding on 3rd down. Here was the drive in the red zone that stalled. Saw pressure off the right-hand side, force a throw by Trubisky. They adjust the next time they get in the red zone. Same pressure. Throw a screen this time, though, to Bug Howard for a big 1st down. Outstanding adjustment by this North Carolina offense from one drive to the next.
And you think Mitch Trubisky is an NFL quarterback?
Absolutely. He reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins, but he can really run. A much better athlete than people realize.
Here's Hood on 1st down, dumped after a 1-yard gain.
I've had people tell me, in regards to Mitch Trubisky, that he might be a better pro prospect than both Deshaun Watson and Brad Kaya.
Whoa.
That's how highly NFL talent evaluators think of his game.
He gets tripped up here. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. When people hear you say that he could be better than Deshaun Watson, that raise a lot of eyebrows.
Very accurate with the football. Very accurate, very decisive, has a good feel.
See what he does here on 3rd and 7. Low snap. Trubisky dumps it off to Hood, who gets the 1st down and more. Spins away from a defender and makes it to the 44, picking up 16 yards. Tempo for North Carolina after a 1st down. We've seen this a handful of times.
No substitution for Miami defensively.
They fake the throw. Trubisky running. He gets maybe a yard. Shaq Quarterman drops him. Well, you're like a guy like Trubisky who waited his turn. Everybody transfers now. They don't get a chance to play right away. They get out of Dodge. But he hung around, played in 19 games as a backup to Marquise Williams. Finally got his shot at age 22 to start. And prior to last week had not thrown an interception. Had 2 in the loss to Virginia Tech in the bad weather. But he's bounced back, has looked very good in this game, especially on 3rd down. Meanwhile, the right tackle for North Carolina, John Heck, whose dad Andy played in the NFL and is coaching now. John's younger brother Charlie is his backup. They're born in different cities. John was born in Jacksonville, Charlie in Kansas City. It was all based on where dad Andy was coaching at the time. And hopefully John is all right. North Carolina without its longest tenured offensive lineman, left guard Caleb Peterson. Now they're down John Heck. And watch Heck as he collides with teammate RJ Prince here. Watch. Oh man, as Heck goes down, holding his head immediately. So William Sweet, a redshirt freshman from Jacksonville, is in now at right tackle. Trubisky to run. And he's got a lane into Miami territory, past the 40 to the 35-yard line. That's a 20-yard run by Trubisky.
Really smart play call right there. New tackle. I think the Miami defense is pinning their ears back. All of a sudden you change the pace with the quarterback drop.
Quick throw. Switzer picked up and body slam. He did hang on to the ball, but Corn Elder dropped him for a loss.
Corn Elder, he's seen that one this week with the scout team. Fantastic tackle. Great recognition. Lead with the shoulder, wrap up. No chance of getting out of that one.
The 3-yard loss. Maybe that'll get the defense going for Miami. Hood, another tackle for a loss. That was Michael Pinckney in the backfield. Boy, these guys, I know they're young, Pinckney, Quarterman, and McLeod, but they look like Miami linebackers used to look. How they play, how they run.
Imagine they'll be bringing the heat again here.
On 3rd and 15, it's a play-action pass. Trubisky being chased, throws back across the middle, incomplete, trying to hit Switzer. Tough throw, rolling right, but he actually had Switzer. It's 4th down.
Miami's starting to ramp it up a little bit when it comes to the pressure.
Boy, Greg, those are big stops on 1st and 2nd down to get Carolina off schedule there, because they were starting to crank it up offensively.
That's what Miami's done all year long. They force negative plays for the offense.
Movement again by Carolina. It's 4 times false start.
False start. Offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That one doesn't kill you, though, because
True.
you get 5 more yards for your punter.
That's true.
I can forgive that one.
But you got a true freshman in Tom Sheldon. Barrios moving to his left, and the fair catch made at the 10. So to your point, it ends up working out better for North Carolina. 2 QBs in a pass segment the last 2 weeks, hitting the crossbar from 25 yards. I won in the hurricane last week in dry weather. It was about 95 out there. I said, you know what? Can I make it 2 in a row? Take that, McElroy and Lugs. 2 in a row, baby.
Some of my best throws were actually throwing it at you, though, as you celebrated. I must say, Lugs, we got to pick it up, bud.
When are we throwing into buckets again? Enough of this crossbar nonsense.
It's all about the touch. Warren Moon was very jealous with that spiral I threw in the last one. Miami goes back to the ground game in year B, and no gain on the play. Now, these standings here, keep in mind that we're not really sure that this is the exact total, because I have more first place wins than Tom Luganville. We're using the
crazy.
stable scoring
That's
system
exactly
here.
where it needs to be.
Stop it.
The fact that you guys have lost 2 weeks in a row, the guy that hasn't played 1 down of quarterback.
In weather, though, doesn't count.
By the way,
doesn't count. Burn the tape.
Dave,
no, can't do it.
Dave, you are the perfect example of why a spiral doesn't matter. It's just the end result.
That is absolutely right. Way to apply it to football. Thank you,
Okay,
Lugs.
there you go.
Dynamite.
That's where he gets his props. All right, buckets next week.
Extra points for the poncho in the Hurricane, correct? Kaya on 2nd and 10 over the middle. It's pulled in. Njoku's on the loose at the 30. Stiff arming past the 40. Pushed out at the 43-yard line. David Njoku becoming a weapon for Brad Kaya. That's 35 yards.
He just burned Andre Smith. A little isolation route. Gave him a little stick at the top. And burst free out the backside. Good throw catch. Great execution.
60 receiving yards on 3 catches for Njoku. Yearby on 1st down. Can't get much. Good job against the run on 1st down by North Carolina's defense. They're having trouble, though, defending the pass. It's Aaron Crawford and Malik Carney teaming up on the tackle for the Heels.
North Carolina team, they're finally healthy. You had to assume you were going to get a better defensive performance at the line of scrimmage this week.
On 2nd and 9, Kaya to the air. And again, wide open is Njoku. Inside the 40-yard line. And if you're a Tar Heel fan, you're screaming, find 86. That's 4 catches, 80 yards. Njoku, a sophomore from Cedar Grove, New Jersey, had 10 catches coming in to today, 4 in this game. And they're inside the North Carolina 35. Looking to tie the game perhaps on this drive. Another pass play for Kaya. And a huge hit at the 20-yard line as Richards couldn't pull it in. Dominique Green leveled him. North Carolina leading Miami 10-3 midway through the 2nd quarter. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville in Miami. Both teams hoping to represent the Coastal Division of the ACC Championship game. As Yearby runs straight ahead, Carolina was trying to get 3 guys off the field to avoid a penalty. And Yearby gets to the 28-yard line, picking up 6 yards.
Remember, Greg, what I said earlier about getting lined up. North Carolina can't get lined up. Now we're getting tempo from Miami.
3rd and 4. Yearby off the right edge, planted short of the line to gain at the 25. Miami's got to go for it here, right? The way their kicking game has been.
Absolutely. You just saw North Carolina make some adjustments, though. They just moved their entire defensive line off the field, so you would have loved to have keep getting tempo and go against a worn-out defensive line. But now, fresh bodies for the Tar Heels makes this 4th and 2 just a little bit tougher.
Badgley did make a 47-yarder on the last possession. And maybe Miami is going to call its final timeout here and discuss it further.
Dave, it looks like they are. I'm watching Mark Richt right now. He's leaning over with the head linesman to let him know as this play clock goes down exactly what he'd like to have to discuss it.
I'm not sure, though, why you would use your last timeout with 7.5 remaining in the half. Our Week 6 Monday Night Football matchup has the Jets and Cardinals from University of Phoenix Stadium. And I got a trivia question for you, Greg, all right, for this game on Monday. Who was the winning quarterback the last time the Jets and Cardinals played in 2012?
AFC, NFC, so once every 4 years.
Oh, it was you. And that makes what happened to you against me in the goalpost throw even more incredible, that you started and won an NFL game against the Cardinals. I think they burned the tape from the Cardinals broadcast, thankfully, what the announcers were saying about you during that game. Do you know who was let's go back, let's go next level here, 2008, the time before you beat the Cardinals, the last winning quarterback of the Jets-Cardinals matchup 2008?
We would have to go, I know the answer to this, you have to go to the other side of the career spectrum. You had mine at one end. Brett Favre was the quarterback in 2008.
And how many touchdowns did Brett Favre throw in that game?
More than me.
6. 4th and 1 for Miami at the 25. The Canes going for it. It's a pass play. Kaya throws behind the receiver and incomplete. Njoku couldn't locate it after the pass breakup by Miles Dorn. What did you think of the call?
Good play call. Try to steal one here on 4th and 2, and he had a guy open. Just missed the throw. That Kaya, critical down and distance right there. Worked Njoku all the way down the field.
That was really a poor throw.
Really poor. Got to get it out in front. Tried to anticipate it. Just missed his mark by a little bit.
But you didn't have a problem with that, throwing on 4th and a half yard.
Absolutely not. Not with the way the field goal team has been working.
Carolina's going to run Logan here on a pitch left side. And he splatters the pile at the 34. Picks up 9 on the play.
Starting to see a little tempo now from North Carolina.
They fake the pitch, and Trubisky finds running lane straight ahead. That middle of the field has been open for Trubisky to run. He picks up 8 yards there. He's rushed for 38 yards on 6 carries.
Very good athlete.
Trubisky, that was a terrific throw to Austin Prohl. He was getting hit, looked like he had to change the arm where he wanted to throw the football that time. He had to drop it down a little bit, and he still fit that in there.
He did. That's advanced. Dropped his arm. He's an over-the-top delivery guy. Dropped it down to 3/4 and got a good completion on the sideline.
2nd and 3, the toss. Logan is spun down in the backfield by Demetrius Jackson.
No, Greg, you go back to that throw from Trubisky and you talk about changing arm angles. I'm not so sure if there's ever been a time in college football where it's been more important for a quarterback to be able to alter his throwing angle with all of the different things that you have to do to get the ball out of your hand now.
Especially against a great D-line like Miami has.
3rd and 4. Trubisky looking, escaping, running past midfield. Got the first down. Boy, Trubisky did a terrific job to avoid losing yardage and instead moves the sticks.
Miami only bringing 4 right here. The new right tackle having a hard time containing him. Trubisky understanding how much he needed. Gets a big first down moving into the Hurricanes territory.
You got the Wildcat quarterback TJ Logan in. Fakes it to Switzer, and Logan to the 40. Powers past the first down marker at the 36-yard line. And we got an injured Miami player. It's Michael Pinckney, true freshman starting weak side linebacker.
They need him. He's been so good. One of those 3 freshmen. The middle linebacker, Shaq Quarterman, dealing with a little bit of a shoulder, not 100%, but toughing it out today. Pinckney is going to walk it off. Hopefully he'll be okay, because he is very important to what they're doing defensively.
What do you think's happened with Miami's rush defense the last couple games? They allowed Dalvin Cook 150 rushing yards and 27 attempts. I know it's Dalvin Cook, but in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl last year, he could do nothing against Houston's defense. And then today, not only is it Logan getting yardage, but Trubisky running the football, having success against this Miami defense. They're going to measure. Initially, it looked like he got the first down, but no, he's short. He's second down and a yard.
The running defense, look, you have young linebackers. And as good as McLeod, Quarterman, Pinckney, as good as they are, there are several occasions in which they're out of position. Now, Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator, understands that. He said, look, they're not going to be perfect, but they have to bring 100% effort on every snap. They've been consistent bringing effort, but Tom, on occasion, they get a little bit unsound defensively.
Well, and that's happened today, and it's happened because I think Larry Fedora has done a great job of using a lot of motion in the backfield, jet sweep action, the fake pitches. And now all of a sudden you get those eyes from those freshman linebackers starting to wander, and they take a false step, and then Mitch Trubisky takes the football and runs it up the middle. That's why he's had that success.
On 2nd and 1, power football and a first down. TJ Logan able to move the chains.
I haven't seen, really, with the exception of the one play down the right-hand side, I haven't seen a downfield throw from North Carolina yet. Now, right here, this might be a chance to take a shot downfield.
Instead, a run play and a negative play. Miami blew that play up at the point of attack. Trent Harris, who had been wearing a club in practice, at both hands on the ball carrier there. And also Cornelder with the stick.
William Sweet, the right tackle, just getting overpowered inside with help on the outside. At some point, they're going to have to hit some throws downfield because these linebackers are starting to tee off against the run.
Remember, Sweet is in there for the injured John Heck at right tackle. Screen pass and good play by Elder again on Logan. Cornelder, he's known for that touchdown that he scored on the lateral last year, the crazy play to beat Duke, but he's a really good corner. Not afraid to come up and run support on a screen pass and level a receiver. 3rd and 11 for Carolina. Trubisky, that pass got caught up in the air. I don't know if it was tipped at the line or what, but that had a weird trajectory on it and hang time. It's incomplete. 4th and 11. And from here, it would be about a 53-yard field goal, and that means we're in Nick Weiler territory. He made a 54-yarder to beat Florida State at the buzzer, and it would have been good from 64. What was almost as good as the made field goal was watching him celebrate. Florida State fans didn't like it. The tomahawk chop, he kept doing it, running toward the Florida State fans in the end zone. 52-yarder to extend the lead. And this one is good. Weiler does it again. Just over the crossbar from 52.
Good snap, good hold. Look at the end over end. Not real pure. He didn't get all of it, but it was good enough for Weiler to drain. 52-yard bomb.
That just got over the crossbar.
Just barely. Larry Fedora fired up. He's a high energy guy now.
He's burning off those energy drinks, Greg.
Yeah, he is.
And again, that field goal against Florida State, that was the longest go-ahead field goal in the fourth quarter against a ranked team in 10 years. And the fact it was in Tallahassee. Then they lost last week to Virginia Tech, ending a streak of 10 consecutive regular season wins in the ACC. Most people have no idea Carolina won 8-0 in conference play last year, won 11 games, lost to Clemson in the ACC championship game. Kickoff fielded at the 4-yard line by Lewis. Makes it to the 26. A penalty flag is down.
Holding. Return team number 28. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Celebrating its 12th year, sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds. For each field goal and extra point kicked, to date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. So, guys, is this about how you thought this game would go? I'm surprised it's this low scoring.
I'm surprised that Miami hasn't been able to do much offensively. This is a North Carolina team that gave up 37 points in a rainstorm last week. So this is a group, Miami, offensively, that's been outstanding. Haven't been operating on all cylinders today.
Mark Walton has 53 rushing yards. He'll go for about 5 more here, out to the 21-yard line. Cole Holcomb wraps him up.
A lot of that, though, too, Greg, has been self-inflicted wounds. They take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, get a big penalty, puts them in what was a third manageable to 3rd and long. If they can clean that up in the second half, they'll be able to sustain some of these drives.
No timeouts for Miami. 2nd down and 5. They use their last timeout to make a decision on that 4th down. Walton bottled up. Let's see if Carolina uses a timeout here. 3rd down. Fans don't like the fact that Miami is running the football. You go back to that Florida State game. They're up 13-3 in the 3rd quarter. They're driving. If they score, that game might be over. Instead, Brad Kaya throws an interception. Then the defense gives up some big plays. Florida State wins. And it seems like Miami still has not recovered from that.
At the drop of a hat, things can change. They went from being up 10, possibly up 13 or even 17, to down 4 in the span of 7 minutes. They need to get some of that momentum back.
They're down 10 here. A huge 3rd and 3. Kaya with single coverage. And Coley can't pull it in. We haven't seen him targeted that often today. M.J. Stewart is a really good corner for North Carolina. He was all over Coley. And the Canes will have to punt.
Coley thought it was a little bit too physical. Was wanting a flag at the end. Brad Kaya disappointed that he wasn't able to pin it on his receiver and him secure it for the 1st down.
Now let's see if Bogle kicks it at Ryan Switzer. 7 career punt returns for touchdowns. Last punt, he kicked it over his head. Excellent hang time, and Switzer has to signal for the fair catch. He gets planted anyway. You know, I don't think he signaled for the fair catch. Now the flag comes in. I don't think the officials were sure if he signaled for a fair catch. Honestly, didn't see it. And then Cornelder didn't see it either. And then the officials didn't seem to see it. They looked at each other. One threw the flag. Switzer hates to signal for a fair catch. He doesn't want to. Although he did it right there initially. I mean, right away he did it. That was early, right off the foot of the punter.
Very early. You could tell, very obvious. Fair catch.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 15 yards, 1st down.
Well, no wonder Cornelder and the officials didn't see it. I mean, it happened that early.
Cornelder's trying to get a release at that point. has a gunner coming down on the punt team. Switzer signaling early. These undisciplined plays, though, by Miami, they just can't have them. Last week they had 10 for 110 yards.
Yeah, you're right. Look, you got the ball now at the 41-yard line with 2 timeouts and 2:27 to go. And you got a kicker who just made a 52-yarder.
That's a decade for this North Carolina offense.
Trubisky going to dump it off to Hood. Got blockers out there. Hood gets rocked at the 45-yard line by Quarterman. Pickup of about 4, and the clock is moving here.
Plenty of time if you're North Carolina. No need to get greedy or do anything unnecessary.
They're going to run it. Hood, nowhere to go. Brought down at the line of scrimmage, so 3rd and 6. There's an injured Miami player. That's going to stop the clock here. Demetrius Jackson is down. Our Affleck trivia question was going to be who was the Jets winning quarterback in the last Jets-Cardinals game, but that was too easy for you. So let's go with this one.
Affleck.
Since 2000, Miami has 29 first-round draft picks in the NFL draft. That's the most. Which school has the second most since 2000?
2000. Golly, that's a long time. I was 12. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking USC.
Jeez, dude, 12?
12. What were you, Luke's?
I don't know. I'm too old. I can't remember.
I'm going to give you guys a hint, all right? So Miami number 1.
Sure.
The team that's number 2, Miami lost to, let's just say in a big game.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Come
Jeez,
on.
come on.
What do you mean?
Golly.
Could be anything. Could be Florida State. Could be Ohio State. Just said a big game. Well, go ahead. You guys got it, so just tell me.
All right, let's go with Ohio State.
So I gave it away. 2002 national championship game. Yep, Ohio State with 24. And they had 16 last year. It felt like 16. It was really 5.
Half the draft?
Yeah. Apparently Ohio State's still pretty good with all those guys getting picked in the first round. They got Wisconsin tonight on ABC. Here's 3rd and 7. There was movement. No flag. Trubisky throws deep. Oh, man, there's a guy wide open. It's caught by Hollins inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
We said last drive, this Miami defense getting a little bit greedy and caught up in what's going on in the backfield. One of these downs, North Carolina is going to take a shot. You see Mac Hollins. Great route climb on the defender's toes. High point the ball, and a big play here for the Tar Heels.
Redwine looked like he thought there was help. He was thinking Cabernet. Instead, it was Merlot. Wildcat sitch. Okay, just you're a little slow. Logan going to keep here on 1st and goal. Plunges forward to about the 2. Again, Carolina has 2 timeouts, but they're not going to use them down here just yet. Let that clock run as Hollins hurt on that catch.
Sticking with the Wildcat. Downhill rushing attack.
They bring Switzer in motion and a penalty flag. Another false start on North Carolina.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
5 false starts, 7 penalties in all for North Carolina here in the first half. You had a 10-point lead and looking for more.
And in the red zone, again, as soon as they get close, you have to understand as an offense, it's going to get a little louder. Those last couple yards are the toughest to gain.
But it's not like this is false start field, Seattle here. I mean, it's loud, but stadium's 2/3 full.
Still, it's a lack of concentration for the North Carolina offense.
The false start stop the running clock. Please deduct 10 seconds from the clock. Start on my signal.
Yeah, when you have a
10
running
seconds.
clock,
Thank you.
any penalty that stops the clock means there's a 10-second run-up, which at this point, North Carolina really
Not much of a
impact
factor. Yeah, not much of a factor with the runoff.
Trubisky on 2nd down, fires. Caught, but not getting into the end zone. Howard on the catch. You use a timeout here. You've got 2 of them. It's 3rd and goal, and they will. that 10-second runoff may actually end up helping, because if North Carolina scores on this play or the next, Miami will have virtually no time. I'm just surprised, Greg. I'm not sure how you feel about this, that Miami has not played better. I mean, they looked so good against Florida State in the first half, and then after the interception by Kai, it all fell apart. And from the get-go, with the poor decision to field that kickoff that was going to sail out of bounds, it never got better here in the first half of the Canes.
Yeah, and I think that this has been something they've dealt with. I mean, losses to Florida State, they haven't been able to just put that game away. It's been the last few years. They have to focus on the details, and that's where they've struggled at this point. Mistakes, like you said, self-inflicted wounds when it comes to false starts and penalties, catching a ball as it's going out of bounds, and they just haven't executed. Inaccurate passes from Brad Kaya, a couple bad decisions from him. Let's not put it all on the offense either. This defense, this is nowhere near the level of execution that we've seen from them through the first 5 games of the year.
But Carolina's offense has been terrific too. 264 yards as Trubisky rolls left on 3rd down and goal. His pass is caught for a touchdown by Switzer. They set that up beautifully and lead it 19-3.
This play's called Q9. Quarterback 9 with a little sprint left option. And Switzer's so quick. When you're one-on-one, it's so difficult to cover him. They did the best they could defensively, but just a better throw and a better route by the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Looked for a second like they might go for 2. Snap a little high. Point after is good. 20-3, North Carolina. Today's Good Hands play brought to you by Allstate. This is how North Carolina got in position to get the field goal.
This is a chunk offense. They want to make big plays down the field. It's all predicated off play action. They kind of lull you to sleep, and then sure enough, Mac Hollins hits the Jets and goes right by the Miami defender. And then look at the accuracy. That's pretty well covered for the most part by Jaquan Johnson. Just a better throw, better route. If you hit that Q9 sprint option play on time, it's virtually impossible to cover.
So what's the 9? I assume Q means quarterback. What's 9?
Q8 is to the right, Q9 is to the left. Sprint left option, sprint right option, but in a 2-minute situation, or if you're in no huddle, you refer to it as Q8 and Q9. It's a staple of the West Coast offense.
David, you remember the play with Joe Montana to Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone?
Q8?
That was sprint right option, and Freddie Solomon fell down.
So that was Q8 then?
That's right.
Okay.
What year are you guys talking about?
About 10 years before you were born. Actually, about 15.
When I beat you guys in the quarterback throw, I was running Q7.
Hey, your stationary goalposts only live in your imagination.
All right, we got a timeout here with Carolina in front 20-3. No timeouts remaining for Miami. Tonight, after a full day of college football, don't miss SportsCenter at night with John Buchagras and Nicole Briscoe. They have highlights, a full breakdown, both the AL and NL Championship Series games, college football, NBA preseason, NHL, everything else going on at SportsCenter at night following UCLA Washington State on ESPN. Man, that NC State Clemson game was terrific earlier today as the Tigers won in overtime. Alabama playing Tennessee right now. Ohio State tonight against Wisconsin. Louisville with a big win last night. So either undefeated or one-loss teams hanging around in the playoff picture so far. Weiler going to squib it and scooped up on the 13 by Lewis. He's up to the 27-yard line.
If you're Miami, though, you go to the half, you say, look, we got to get the run game going a little bit. That's imperative to what we do offensively. Passing game's going okay, but not great. They haven't done many of the RPOs that have gotten them to 4-1 at this point. Still a lot of game left for Miami, and they have the right quarterback in Brad Kaya. to get them right back into this football game.
Meanwhile, Trubisky bouncing back in a big way. He's thrown for twice as many yards as he did last week, and he has 2 touchdowns. Kaya dumps it off. Mark Walton with 7 seconds left. He did get the first down, so the clock will stop here for them to reset the chains. That'll give Kaya 1 shot to throw it deep. And maybe you get 2. Maybe you get 1 shot to the sideline here, try to pick up 8 to 10 more yards, get out of bounds, stop the clock with 1, and then hope you can heave it to the end zone.
Just getting him in rhythm. Spike it here.
And now you have just the 1 shot with 2 seconds left to throw it deep. Penalty flag down.
It was after the play too, so we might see 15-yard penalty.
Well, if this is on North Carolina, it'd put the ball in midfield. Be an easier throw for Kaya.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Unsportsmanlike on the offense, number 58. Unsportsmanlike on the defense, number 97. Those penalties offset, 2nd down.
And again, first unsportsmanlike conduct on both those guys, so offset penalties, 2 seconds to go.
Lugs, what do you think? Hail Mary or something underneath to stay in rhythm?
There is no rhythm right now going into half. Chuck it.
Kaya in trouble. Instead, he gets sacked. Back at the 31-yard line. Mikey Bart was back there. Fans boo here in Miami as Carolina has its largest halftime lead of the season, and they will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Mitch Trubisky, 14 of 19, 163 yards, 2 scores. They're trying to keep Carolina from mingling with the Miami players after they were jawing at one another in pregame when Miami came out of the tunnel. The tunnel for the visitors is right behind the goalpost where Miami runs into the corner. So you do have to cross paths. They just wanted to hold Carolina up. And let's go down to Tom Luganville. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. North Carolina leads Miami 20-3 at halftime. Moments ago, 15 years removed from Miami's national championship team of 2001. They're being honored at halftime. Some of the greats: Shockey, Portis, Vilma, Bryant McKinney, Ed Reed, among those players that won the 2001 national championship. And every time we keep thinking Miami's getting back to the glory days, they stumble. Last week against Florida State, and here today having trouble with Mitch Trubisky.
Trubisky's been outstanding, though. Very accurate with the football and making great decisions with his legs. Here, offensive lineman gets beat. He avoids real quick to his right, gets back to the left where the vacancy was, and gets upfield. Also reading coverage. He keeps his eyes up the middle of the field and feels Bug Howard down the right-hand sideline for a big play. And finally, to Austin Prohl in the back of the end zone. Very accurate with the football, up and over the middle linebacker and in for a touchdown. You can see 14 of 19. He's carving up what has been a very steady, very athletic Miami defense.
So 200 yards of total offense for Trubisky. Carolina will be on offense here first. Badgley kicking it deep. This will be a touchback. Carolina will start on its 25. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Trubisky with both touchdowns coming on 3rd down in this game.
Q9 sprint left option finds Ryan Switzer. And Brad Kaya just hasn't had his A game today. Inaccurate with the football, hasn't made great decisions. For the most part, his offensive line has held up pretty good. Only been sacked once, and that was in a Hail Mary situation. So he's got to just dial it in, get more comfortable in the pocket.
Had a bad throw on 4th and 1. Should have been a catch. Meanwhile, that pass behind Switzer. Incomplete for North Carolina. Here's Tom Luganville.
Guys, it certainly doesn't seem like enthusiasm or confidence is waned with Brad Kaya in this Miami offense. They've got to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to them, particularly some of those tight end mismatches that they took advantage of in the second quarter. Now, when you consider everything else, this is a team that has had self-inflicted wounds. They've got to play smarter football.
Pass complete to Prohl, short of the line to gain. It'll be 3rd and 2.
First drive of the second half is one of the most important drives of the game. Getting off to a fast start, recognizing the adjustments that the other team might have made at halftime. So a big play right here for both the North Carolina offense and the Miami defense.
On 3rd and 2, they're going to run it, and they get the first down with T.J. Logan. And that goes back to Tom's point. The offense is struggling. You need a 3 and out. Get your offense back on the field, get some momentum, and 3rd and short, the run defense fails to do its part.
The Miami's offense, though, they've been down in the red zone. They've just had self-inflicted mistakes. So they need to clean those things up when they get the ball back.
Switzer in trouble. Wow, as soon as he caught that, there were 3 Hurricanes bearing down on him. Quarterman, Norton, and Johnson.
I love Quarterman. I think he is going to be a really special player. It's not often when you see a freshman middle linebacker for the Hurricanes. He's the first one since Dan Morgan in 1997.
Trubisky on 2nd and 10. That pass off the mark. Intended for Bug Howard, who gave the quarterback a look as if to say, I'm going to the right. You threw it to the left. So now it's 3rd down and 10.
Couple inaccurate passes from Trubisky. Missed the first play of the second half, threw it behind the intended receiver there, missed it again.
It's such an important game in the Coastal Division. Virginia Tech, which leads the division at 2-0, is losing right now to Syracuse at halftime. So the winner of this game can get back in first place. 3rd and 10, penalty marker down. Is that our 6th false start on Carolina?
Offense.
It is.
Number 51, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that's on freshman William Sweet, who's in for the injured John Heck. Heck suffered what looked like a head injury in the first half. So they are down 2 starters. Caleb Peterson, who started 42 career games at left guard, he is out. 6 pre-snap penalties, and 3 of those false starts coming in the red zone today.
Absolutely can't have it. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 15, where it kind of limits what you can do offensively. Might think screen or draw here if you're North Carolina.
And if you're Miami, you got to be thinking that too. Got to be ready. That middle of the field has been open today. They are going to run it. Hood getting the corner at the 40, cuts it back, has the first down. Just a straight handoff, right edge, and Hood gets it all.
Wow. Conservative play call. And they still get the first down.
And you wonder, Jamal Carter, is he a little bit rusty there? The guy who tried to make the tackle as Hood is brought down, a loss of 1. On that last play, Jamal Carter was trying to make the tackle and whip. Now, he did not play in the first half, suspended from a targeting call from the Florida State game last week. So that was, he's only been out there for a few snaps here in the second half. Not trying to make excuses for him, but 2nd and 11. Wide open is Howard inside the 30-yard line. First down and a gain of 18 yards.
Good delivery from Trubisky. Thought they might have gotten away with a hold up front, though.
Logan doesn't get much. In fact, maybe lost a half yard on the play. At the 29-yard line, as the running back, T.J. Logan, lost his helmet. So he'll have to go to the sideline for one play. Joe Jackson on the stop, true freshman for the Hurricanes. Here's up-tempo from Carolina. Play fake for Trubisky, setting up. Long throw, but got it to Howard. Howard planted on the catch by Corn Elder. We're going to have 3rd down and 3 here.
Good patience there, Greg, but boy, was that dangerous to throw that ball that laid out into the flat. Corn Elder almost tied that thing up, getting in this red zone important territory here.
You had a good look at that from the field right there, Tom. Yep. As they run Hood here in trouble on 3rd down, won't get it. Portel Jenkins and Michael Pinckney on the stop. So if you try the field goal here, you force Miami to have to score 3 touchdowns, and that's what Larry Fedora is thinking.
Correct decision here. It's 4th and a long 3. You don't want to risk coming off the field after the first drive of the second half empty-handed. It's important for Nick Wheeler to connect here from 39.
Weiler made a 42-yarder and a 52-yarder so far. This one's blocked. R.J. McIntosh, who blocked a punt earlier this season, now blocks a field goal. Michael Pinckney is injured. Miami will have the football. And momentum after the block field goal. McIntosh got through, got a paw up, and knocked it down. It appeared that the kick by Weiler was low, blocked by McIntosh. Maybe this will give Miami momentum. Play fake for Kaya, and it's dropped. Njoku, who had a good first half. 4 catches, 82 yards. Dropped an easy one.
Just a lack of concentration. Good accurate throw. Look at that. Eyes go off the football, lets it get into his body. Now Miami's looking at 2nd and 10.
Kaya 8 of 16 for 121 yards. Here's Walton on the carry. And he gets pushed back at only 2 yards. Now the guy that's been quiet today is Stacy Coley. He's been held to no catches and just 1 target. Now we don't know if he's 100%. He is playing. Got a brace on his leg. Last week he had 2 touchdowns in the win against Florida State, but his knee was bothered in that game. He's at the top of your screen here on 3rd down and 8. He's their best receiver. Kaya with time. Knocked away. Intended for Amon Richards. Des Lawrence stepped in front for Carolina to force a punt.
There's just not a lot of separation against these corners. Des Lawrence, MJ Stewart. Richards had a little room to the outside. Kaya just missed inside.
Greg, that's what we talked about in the break. These guys are locked down on the perimeter. They try to get the ball to the tight ends there on 1st down, and you drop the football trying to create the correct matchup.
And you get the block, and then you come back on 1st down. You got a play set up, and a guy puts it on the ground. Messes everything up. Fair catch made by Switzer. Not a great punt. On the 37-yard line, Mitch Trubisky back on the field.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Pacific Life, helping generations of families achieve long-term financial security for over 145 years.
Now, despite the sunshine, a lot of doom and gloom for Miami. Not the case, though, for Larry Fedora. This is a program on the rise. Remember, a few years ago, they didn't have enough scholarship players when Fedora took over because of violations by the previous group. Carolina, though, last year won 11 games, went unbeaten in the regular season in the ACC. Switzer out in space. Past the 40 and pushed out of bounds. It's the 5th year for Larry Fedora. They've won 10 of their last 11 regular season ACC games. They won at Florida State a couple weeks ago. Florida State at the time was ranked 12th. That's the highest ranked team that Carolina's beaten on the road in 20 years. 2nd and 6. Trubisky to Howard. And good coverage that time. He's short of the 1st down. Cornelder with the stick for Miami.
Larry Fedora's done a wonderful job with this program. Everyone always characterized it as a sleeping giant. They were 1 game away. If they beat Clemson, they're in the college football playoff last year. They're well on their way.
Here's 3rd down. Trubisky steps up, and he could walk past the 1st down. Hey, Tom, obviously you're the national recruiting director for ESPN. How did he do it? How did he get the players at North Carolina? Because before he got there, I mean, they had a lot of studs there for a while, but that's also how they got in trouble.
Well, that's exactly right. But I think initially what he did a great job of is, and when we had them 4 years ago, they had 58 scholarship players. He made very wise decisions with their walk-on program to try and get their numbers up with players that could compete, whether it was in the kicking game or in backup roles. And then now what have they done? They've tried to build a team from the inside out. So where have their best players come from under his watch over the last couple of years? Caleb Peterson at the offensive tackle spot. Nazir Jones along the defensive tackle spot. Jalen Dalton as well. Their issue is they don't have enough bodies. And when you hear NCAA sanctions, guys, you can take away bowls, okay? You can put somebody on probation. When you take away bodies due to scholarship restrictions, that puts you back further than anything else, and that's what he inherited.
And his best recruit, he's got a lot of good players, might be Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator. He was working with us at ESPN. Said he doesn't really miss the booth that much, though. But Gene Chizik last year had his fingerprints all over that defense. Were they exceptionally good? Absolutely not. But they were better. This year, they've been up and down. They've dealt with some injuries. Gene Chizik is one of the best defensive minds I've ever been around. And he's done a great job to this point.
We told Gene Chizik that we're grinding up here. I mean, it's chicken or steak last night. You don't miss this? Here's Logan on 2nd and 8, and he gets the first down. There's a penalty flag down. Now, you just said Gene Chizik, I can't remember, did you say one of the best or the best? Because
one of the best.
You played for Nick Saban, obviously maybe the best defensive mind in college football.
Not everybody has Nick Saban's players.
Holding. Offense.
Yeah, but
number 52, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
I'll say this about Gene Chizik. Playing against him, and I've played against him a couple times, and he made it very difficult for us in communication. He shows you different looks. He makes you burn chalk. He breaks tendencies. He does a really good job. Right now, defensively, they're nowhere near where they need to be talent-wise. They're getting there, but it's still a work in progress, and I know he's trying to bring out the best in those players.
Trubisky on 2nd and 17. Elder has played well all day. Drops Bug Howard on the catch. He's not afraid of contact, Elder. So it's going to be 3rd and long here for Carolina. This is a must stop here for the Hurricane defense.
Where's the pass rush? I want to see this Hurricane defense try to get after the passer.
They lost Chad Thomas to an injury a couple plays ago. He's back out there, and there's the pass rush. It's Elder, a corner, getting in the backfield. He's played great all day. Captain for the Hurricanes forces a punt.
There it was. That's who Miami has been. They overload you in protection. Elder coming from the secondary, getting home and forcing a punt. That's what Miami needs to do.
How about that? They lined up as if they were going to fake. They had Tom Sheldon wide to the top of your screen, then he shifted into the backfield to punt the ball. I was wondering, like, why is number 17 back there to punt? That's because Sheldon was lined up wide. And he kicks it into the end zone. It will come out to the 20 for Miami. So we're talking about Gene Chizik, Manny defense's defense with a big stop. Miami's offense on the field when we come back. Manny Diaz for today's AT&T Inside Access. Now, Manny grew up the son of an attorney, but when he became a football coach, Manny Sr. got into politics and was the mayor of Miami from 2001 to 2009. He had never held a public office prior to that appointment. He's here on the sideline today cheering on the Canes. And his son, along with the players, just got a big stop. So Miami back out there on offense. And Kaya has Edwards, but he overthrew him. Kaya continues to miss. Richards had a step on the defender, Des Lawrence.
It's one of the few times we've seen this Miami offense take a shot down the field. Richards has been really good this year for them. But you see just no production from the wide receiver position today. 5 targets, only 1 catch. Part of that's on Kaya, but part of that's on the receiver's inability to get open.
Lawrence Cager is the one with a catch as Kaya throws over the middle complete. There's Stacy Coley, his first catch of the day, 23rd on the year. This is a big play guy. 6 touchdowns, 9th in the country. They need big plays from Coley if they're going to come back, you would think.
Brad Kaya's got to find his rhythm too, though. Got to be accurate with the football, especially on 3rd downs like this.
3rd and 4. They've struggled on 3rd down today. 2 for 9. And they're going to run Walt. And he doesn't make it. Not even close. Brought down by Donnie Miles and Azair Jones. What'd you think of the decision?
It's an RPO. Run pass option. If the numbers dictate you handing it off, you have to trust your offensive line to get your running back to the 1st down marker. No problem with the decision, just have issues with the execution.
That's what the crowd doesn't understand, Greg. They don't know the intricacies of how the thing's called.
Vogel's punt is deep. Switzer backing up. And again, he signaled very early for that fair catch. And it's a 56-yard punt, no return. Let's go to the studio.
Thanks, Dave. Carmex Drive What's Possible update. Coastal Division leader and number 17 Virginia Tech trailing Syracuse, but Gerard Evans hits Isaiah Ford to cut the lead to 8. The extra point was blocked. It's 17-9 Cuse. This game is over on ESPNU. Dave, Greg, back to you.
That is a terrific rivalry, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, going back to their days in the Big East. What? Well, it's a good rivalry. Michael Vick once beat Syracuse 62-0, and there were 5 players in the Syracuse defense who got drafted in the first 3 rounds. Trubisky dropped in the backfield for a loss by Corn Elder. Speaking of the Hokies, as Elder makes another play, Miami has to play in Blacksburg Thursday night. The next 2 games for Miami are on the road. At Virginia Tech, then at Notre Dame. After today, they only have 2 home games left. Second and 13. Out of the backfield is Hood. And he is wrapped up, brought down by Colbert and Jenkins, teaming up on the tackle at the 15-yard line. 3rd and long for North Carolina.
This defense is starting to feel it a little bit. The offense has not done their part today. So the defense needs to gain some of this momentum back on a 3rd and long.
Play fake, Trubisky in trouble. Forced out of the pocket, doesn't see behind him, gets rid of the pass, and throws it away. He got hit hard, too, by 2 Hurricanes in the backfield. Pinckney was coming backside. I don't know if Trubisky saw him. If he waited about 2 more seconds to throw that ball, Trubisky would have been sacked.
The pressure is increasing. Miami continuing to overload one side of the offensive line. They almost got a guy free. I think North Carolina was fortunate there, actually, because I saw some grabbing jerseys in the trenches.
Braxton Berrios is deep. Like Switzer for Carolina, he is a dangerous return man, but that was too good of a punt. Had to signal for the fair catch at the 38. It's a 45-yard punt, no return. Manny Diaz Sr. cheering on Manny Diaz Jr. The D comes up with a stop for the Canes. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. The Miami Hurricanes trailing North Carolina 20-3. The Tar Heels have won 7 consecutive true road games, and they're doing it again here in Miami. But a ton of time left. The Hurricane offense has to get going. Brad Kaya has thrown for only 127 yards in the game. And they have only 85 yards on the ground. Kaya eluding pressure. Throws downfield. It's caught. Is Richards inbounds? He is. Great play by Kaya to keep his eyes downfield. Finding true freshman Amon Richards for 30 yards.
That catch will stand. Great catch on the sideline by Richards. Nothing open initially. Richards uncovering for his quarterback and making a big play.
the best play Kaya's made today. Back to the air, stepping up. Everybody covered. Kaya spins out of there. Now throws. He's got Herndon inside the 10. Knocked down at the 6-yard line. First and goal, Miami. Hand off to Yearby. Brought down at the 2. Second and goal at the 4-minute mark here in the third.
Really like their tempo right now. Not a million miles an hour, but certainly having some urgency with their offensive play calling.
Yearby again is back there with Kaya on second and goal. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Joe Yearby. Joe Yearby has scored a touchdown in 5 of the 6 games Miami has played this year now. Boy, do they need that. 4 plays, 61 yards in just over a minute's time, and they convert on the point after.
These Miami fans have been sitting on their hands, but now they are on their feet. Yearby, well blocked, well executed. Some pullers leading the way. Pay dirt.
Do you like that pull in the center? Nick Linder there.
Did they score? Yes.
That's
I
what
love
I'm
it.
saying. Out there with the left tackle.
I love it.
Center and left tackle out there taking out the defender.
Got to credit 2 things there, guys. The Miami defense for backing up the North Carolina offense, forcing the punt and then getting great field position, and Brad Kaya's ability to extend plays with his legs when things weren't ideal. You think of him as a pocket guy, he made things happen with his eyes and his feet on that drive to put him in position to score.
Yeah, he's not escaping to try to run. He's escaping to give his receivers time to uncover. They did a great job on that drive as well. Big answer.
Touchback. Carolina will start in the 25. Kickoff your Week 6 NFL Sunday with us on ESPN at 10 a.m. Eastern. NFL Insider Sunday edition. All the early breaking stories, injury news, and more. Then at 11, the new Sunday NFL Countdown crew. Chris Berman, Trent Dilfer, Charles Woodson, Randy Moss, Matt Hasselbeck.
Things are getting cranked up here noise-wise. Now, we've seen with North Carolina in that first half, this is where they struggled with their no-huddle communication and a lot of false start penalties.
It's loud on the field, Tom. It's loud up here. Everybody standing for Miami. It all started with the defense on that last possession. Trubisky pumps, now hits Switzer. Tries to turn upfield, but can't. Shaq Quarterman all over him. And that's a middle linebacker covering a wide receiver out in space.
Great job defensively. They tried to fake one underneath, throw it deep. This young Miami defense said, I'm not falling for that. Let's rally to the football. Good tackle in open space.
Had some trouble with a handoff. And Logan gets to the 28-yard line. So a gain of 3 on the play. That one took some time to develop. Joe Jackson, another true freshman for Miami, made the play.
The last couple third downs for the Hurricanes. It brought some pressure.
You do it again? Come after him here?
Absolutely. Dictate if you're the defense.
Carolina adjusting here. Trubisky changing things up. 3rd and 7. Trubisky wide open as Howard, first down to midfield. Howard able to get free for 22 yards.
Miami electing just to bring 3. Couple late triggers at the second level, but not soon enough. Big completion for the Tar Heels.
How do you bring 3 and then give up that play? And you got 8 in coverage. Trubisky to Howard again. Close to the first down. Dragged down by Jamal Carter. That's Howard's 9th catch. He's over 100 yards on the day.
You asked how they could give that up. They rushed 3 initially, and then they tried to add on in pressure, which left isolations in the back end.
Trubisky, Howard open again inside the 20-yard line and spun out of bounds at the 12.
What a great throw. They hit one like this to Howard early in the game. Just a little hole shot down the right sideline. Excellent throw and catch by Trubisky and Howard.
And if this is the first time you've watched Mitch Trubisky play, you can see he can play with anybody.
He's got everything you want. I absolutely love him at this level and the next.
He'll keep it here inside the 10. Gets a block. Trubisky leveled at the 2. Close to the first down marker. Looks like he got it. It'll be first and goal.
Just like the last series was all Brad Kaya, this is all Mitch Trubisky. And as loud as this stadium was, he has hushed the crowd with a big third down completion, the throw down the sideline, and the great read there, keying the unblocked end who takes the back, keeps the ball. Very impressive drive here from number 10.
Carolina late getting substitutions on. The play clock is at 13. We're at a minute to go in the third.
Little muddle huddle.
Elijah Hood is the deep back. It's a quarterback sneak. Trubisky didn't get in. Second and goal. Pinckney came out of there with a football for Miami, but it was blown dead.
They've done that muddle huddle a few times. You see where the entire offensive unit standing right behind the football, try to hustle up to the line of scrimmage and get it snapped. They've actually run Trubisky on a keeper around the edge for a touchdown earlier in the season. Looks like they're going back to it.
You keep it in his hands here.
I'd hand it off to Elijah Hood.
No, it's play action. Rolling out. Trubisky looking now. Throws. Overshot the intended receiver. Carl Tucker. That pass a little too high. He had to get over to the linebacker. Quarterman, who was in coverage. It's third down.
It's 4-down territory for me. If I'm North Carolina, there's no chance I'm settling for a field goal. You have 2 downs to get it. I think you run it not only here. If you don't get in, you run it again on 4th.
They run up to the line quickly for third down and goal. Now they'll give it to the running back. Hood powers. He did not get in. It's 4th down. Greg, I think you take the points. Can Miami score 2 touchdowns? Because if you take the points here, you force them to have to score 2 touchdowns.
That's the end of the third quarter.
And you can see the ball there is definitely short. 4th down when we start the 4th quarter. We'll talk more about whether to go for it or take the points. And when we come back, we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Listen tonight on ABC. Number 2 Ohio State, 8th ranked Wisconsin, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. North Carolina looks like it's going to go for it. I think they should kick. Tom thinks they should kick. You say go for it.
Absolutely go for it. You have 3 inches to get it across that goal line.
They run up there on 4th and goal. Trubisky takes, quarterback sneak, and didn't appear to get in. No, he didn't. Miami takes over on down. Easy to second guess in retrospect, of course, but we were guessing ahead of time. You kick the field goal, you force Miami to score 2 touchdowns. They go for it, and Trubisky gets stopped.
I'm great with going for it. However, I never understood why you go with a quarterback sneak on the goal line. You have a 230-pound running back in Elijah Hood. Hand it to him. He has momentum. He can push the pile. As a quarterback, it's very hard to get it in. I disagree with the play call, but not with going for it.
And Miami here has to give itself some breathing room. First down from just outside the goal line here. Mark Walton gets out to the 3-yard line. I mean, is that something, if you're Miami, you see a tendency at all there? Is that something you can read? Do you know that the quarterback sneak is coming in that situation?
They've done that muddle huddle where they get right behind the ball and run up to the line of scrimmage time and time again this season. But they've handed it off. They've done QB bootlegs. They've thrown it. And they've done quarterback sneaks. So it's not like you can get a direct read on what they're doing offensively.
2nd and 8 for Miami, trailing by 10 early fourth quarter. It's Walton again, and he gets to the 5-yard line, and that's it. Donnie Miles was there for North Carolina along with Andre Smith. Is there a face mask here? There's no penalty flag. The crowd wanted it. Let's see. Did he turn it? Oh, he did.
That is absolutely.
Wow. That's a terrible miss by the officials. You turn that mask, that's an automatic foul.
Absolutely inexcusable to miss that call.
Miami 2 of 10 on 3rd down. They need 6 yards. Get just past the 10-yard line. Kaya from his end zone. And here's Richards out the gate. Up to the 30-yard line. How about that call on 3rd and 6? Took time to develop.
It's a great job in execution. From your own end zone, focus has to be at its absolute highest. Great job by the Hurricanes.
First down on the Miami 30-yard line. Kyle looking, and coming free is Coley. Brought down at the 36, picking up 6 yards. They're starting to target him more here in the second half after he was quiet in the first half.
This is all about Brad Kaya, though. The receivers are getting open, but he's creating time for them. He was backed up. This is where you're made of as a quarterback. Down a couple scores, team needs you.
On 2nd and 4, he'll go to work again. And not on the same page with Coley. Tried to hit him again, and he thought Coley was going to break that out, stop his route. What's been the biggest difference you've seen with Kaya first half, second half?
Accuracy. This North Carolina defense has done a really good job in coverage. But the best quarterbacks make throws that can't be defended. Brad Kaya's done it time and time again over the course of his career. His team needs him to do it now.
Another 3rd down pass play, and Coley got tripped up. He thought he was held by M.J. Stewart. No penalty flag. It's 4th down, and Miami will have to punt.
Just trying to get a slant. It's great coverage. High throw. Love to bring that one down in a perfect world, obviously.
Hey, you made the point in our meeting yesterday. Des Lawrence gets the press, but M.J. Stewart's the better corner. Stewart's made some really good plays on Coley in this game.
I think M.J. Stewart's going to play 10 years in the National Football League.
Vogel the punt on 4th down and 4. Switzer is the deep man once again. And Switzer did not signal for a fair catch that time and lost a yard. 43-yard punt. And North Carolina will start on its 20, leading by 10. A peek at this week's college football rankings brought to you by AT&T. Alabama is pummeling Tennessee in Knoxville, 42-10. Alabama next week has to go to A&M. And Clemson surviving, beating North Carolina State. Louisville knocked off Duke last night. Carolina now with a 1st and 10 from the 20. Trubisky throws to Prohl at the 25. He's tackled at the 26. If Alabama wins next week against Texas A&M, it'll be the first time that they have defeated ranked teams 3 straight weeks. And it doesn't happen very often that you get ranked teams 3 consecutive weeks. It'll be the first time that they sweep it since 1999. Surprising stat, right?
It is.
Trubisky behind the intended receiver, Switzer, and then at the feet of Jenkins on the redirection. Big third down here for both teams.
That was well executed backfield action. Poor execution in terms of ball placement for Mitch Trubisky, Greg.
Tom, how hard is it for them to communicate given the crowd noise? This crowd is really into it.
It is difficult, particularly with the front players. That's where the problem's been.
North Carolina 10 of 18 on third down. Pressure coming. Trubisky throws, and he threw it out of bounds. Miami's defense really stepping up the last few possessions. They get off the field again, and the offense will get back on after a punt.
They have answered the call defensively. Miami, when you put on that jersey and you put up the U, it's expected of you to play defense a certain way. This young group's getting there.
Sheldon punting. Barrios is the deep man. And it's fair caught at the 27-yard line. Miami down 10 with possession.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Lee Jeans, move your Lee, and Infinity, empower the drive.
Clouds covering Hard Rock Stadium. We had rain prior to kickoff, then dry for the most part. Miami trying to mount a comeback. Trailed 10-0 after one, 20-3 at halftime, and now down 20-10. The Canes will keep it on the ground with Walton. There's the cutback. Gang tackled at the 33. It's a good play on first down, 6 or 7 yards. For Mark Walton, a sophomore from Miami. We were talking with Mark Richt, the head coach, about the running backs that he had at Georgia. Remember Todd Gurley, Noshawn Moreno, both first-round picks, and he wasn't going to go there just yet with Walton and Yearby, but it's just one of the best tandems in college football.
He said it with a smile. He said these guys can flat out play.
Here's Walton again. And he'll come up just short of the line to gain. Aaron Crawford with the tackle. 3rd and 1 for the U.
All right, boys, here.
Does Rick call Walton's number again here in 3rd and short? He will. As the rain starts to come down, Walton is taken down short of the marker by Malik Carney. What do you think, Greg? You got 10:40 left. You're at your own 37. Do you take a chance and go for it, or are you punting it away?
With the way the defense is playing, I'd punt it, but it looks like the offense is staying on the field.
They go for it on 4th down. Walton hit. Able to move the pile, though, and get the first down. As it starts to pour here, as Walton lost his helmet and is injured. Walton got the first down. It's pouring down rain, and Walton is down. All right, let's check in with Cassidy in the studio.
Thanks, Dave. Now, the Vols may be comeback kids, but the Tide making it very difficult for them to do so. Eddie Jackson with a 79-yard punt return, another TD with their offense off the field. They have since tacked on another touchdown. They're up 49-10 in the 4th. With number 1 winning big on the road, what is number 2 going to do under the lights in Madison? JT Barrett and Ohio State looking for a 5th straight win over Wisconsin. This top 10 matchup at 8 Eastern on ABC. Dave, Greg.
Yeah, Ohio State having to play back-to-back road games against teams coming off byes. Wisconsin tonight, at Penn State next week. It is pouring. The heavens just opened right before that snap on 4th down.
Really? I got to be honest, I keep playing. I don't think the heavy stuff's coming out for quite a while.
You've had the worst luck of any sideline analyst / reporter in the history of ESPN this season.
I will say this, guys. That goes without saying. But this could play a pivotal role here in the 4th quarter, because going back to that game a week ago, Mitch Trubisky in this North Carolina offense flat out could not function.
You're right.
With a wet ball. So
good
let's see what Brad Kaya is able to come up with, and if North Carolina all of a sudden finds a way to figure it out.
Guys, didn't North Carolina look like an entirely different team last week playing in that weather? As hopefully Walton's okay. It didn't look like the Tar Heels that we saw beat Pitt, hang with Georgia, and beat Florida State as well on the road. Didn't look like the same team.
And this Miami coaching staff said, look, to be honest with you, we're not putting a ton of stock into that tape. We're not going to be playing that tape.
Because they know it wasn't a good gauge anyway, of what they can expect to see from North Carolina. Fresh set of downs. Yearby is in for the injured Walton here. It's play action. Kaya rolling out, and unable to make the catch was Richards. It appeared he took his eyes off it at the last second, with the free safety Dominique Green bearing down on him.
The accuracy clearly not being affected by the wet ball. However, that's just half the battle.
The reception was.
The reception certainly was.
Another pass play, short one, Yearby. What a play in the backfield by M.J. Stewart. He's getting blocked, and he still makes the tackle for a loss.
This Miami wide receiver group has been outstanding blocking downfield this year. Right there, M.J. Stewart just ran right through Braxton Berrios. Sets up a very difficult 3rd and 17 in the rain.
A 7-yard loss, and Miami's 3 of 13 on 3rd down. Kaya over the middle, incomplete. Berrios had a chance to pull it in, and a late flag thrown on Andre Smith. Did Smith get called for targeting? The flag was late. The officials had to think about it at first, and then they threw the flag. It was a big hit. The question is, was it an illegal hit? This will be a 1st down for Miami.
Personal foul, targeting on the defense, number 10. That play is under further review.
So instead of 4th and 17 and a punt, it's 1st and 10. Let's take a look.
That is absolutely targeting. Braxton Berrios going in for a catch. He's a defenseless player. Andre Smith coming in with the crown of the helmet.
Forcible contact.
Forcible contact to the head or neck area. This will absolutely stand. We won't see Andre Smith,
no doubt,
anymore in this game.
That's an easy call, I think. And again, a mistake by Andre Smith, because instead of Miami punting, now they're going to be at midfield with a fresh set of downs, trailing by 10. And Andre Smith, their leading tackler, will not be able to participate the rest of the game.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 10 is disqualified from the game. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic 1st down.
And he won't be available for their game next week in the 1st half at Virginia. The only thing I disagree with about the rule, I think if you are called for targeting, you're done for the rest of the game, whether it happens in the 1st minute or the last minute. I don't think you need to further penalize the player and have him miss half of the next game. Next week's got nothing to do with this.
Trying to change behavior is what the rule is intending to do. However, there is a lot of gray area, and we've seen guys get ejected on questionable calls. And I'm with you. I don't like seeing them miss an additional half.
Short pass through the hands of Amon Richards. He's dropped 2 on this possession.
It's 3 drops in a row. Richards has 2. Berrios had 1. Brad Kaya's putting it where it needs to be. You can see Richards not putting his hands up, trying to catch it with his body. It's just poor form.
Got a wet ball, obviously, with the pouring rain. Settled down a little bit, but still coming down on 2nd and 10. Kaya steps up in the pocket, dumps it off. Coley with a grab. Brought down by Holcomb, short of the first down. Check that, it was Yearby on the catch, short of the first down. It's 3rd down and 2 for Miami at the 43-yard line. Plenty of time, 9 minutes and counting, down 10 points. Kaya starting to get it going here in the second half. In the first half, Kaya was 8 of 15 for 121 yards. Now, his numbers not much better this half, but he's had several drops, and as you pointed out, 3 in a row on this possession. What do they dial up on 3rd and 2? It's a run to Yearby inside the 40. The race is on. Finally knocked out of bounds inside the 10. 1st and goal, Hurricanes. And Yearby is shaken up. Remember, Walt was hurt earlier.
Great job blocking downfield by Amon Richards, and Yearby finding the green grass for a huge play on 3rd down. And Miami moves into the low red zone.
And now Walton appears to be okay. He's out there on 1st and goal. Gets the call and gets brought down for a loss. Fans here thought that Jalen Dalton, the tackler, grabbed the face mask of Walton, but no foul. 2nd and goal. If nothing else, if you're Miami, you come out of here with something. Make it a 1-score game. Walton again. Brought down at the 4-yard line by Miles Dorn. 3rd and goal.
That was the same play that they scored on earlier in the game. Got a couple pullers out in front. This time North Carolina's defense was prepared for it. So an important 3rd down right here for the Hurricanes.
You keep it on the ground. Make sure you get points. Throw it to the end zone. If you're Mark Richt, what are you doing?
I would go with a run-pass option.
Something that Mark Richt says, you know, he's added to his offense. He was greasing it up for you guys yesterday, all the run-pass options they have.
If you get one-on-one on the backside, might have a look at it.
Play fake. Kaya looks, back of the end zone, caught, out of bounds, incomplete. Njoku could not get a foot down. It's 4th down, and Miami will bring on the field goal team.
Tried to get the big body, Njoku, in the back of the end zone. He scored on the play like that against Appalachian State. This time unable to connect.
And Badgley has had 2 field goals blocked and an extra point block this season. A 22-yard attempt. It's good. 7-point game. 6:54 to play, 4th quarter. Our Pacific Life game summary with North Carolina in front 20-13. Miami's outscored North Carolina 10-0 in the second half. The defense for the Hurricanes has been much better, even though Mitch Trubisky's thrown for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brad Kaya stepped things up here in the second half. 6:54 remaining, so plenty of time. We've got rain now here at Hard Rock Stadium. And a touchback. Carolina will start on the 25. Here's Cassidy.
Thanks, Dave. Coastal leader Virginia Tech still in some trouble. Eric Dungy with the 1-yard run for Syracuse, which capped off a 17-play drive, giving Cuse the 24-17 lead. That game is over on ESPNU. Dave, Greg, back to you.
And if Tech loses, everybody in the Coastal Division would have at least 1 loss. Keep an eye on Mitch Trubisky now. He did not play well in the weather last week in Chapel Hill when they got throttled by Virginia Tech. 1st down on the 25, and here's Logan. Got running room across the 30-yard line, up to the 40. So they pick up 15 yards on the first play.
Like that play call, Greg. They decide to hand it off. Don't force him to throw it right now. See if he gets some plays and some yardage on the ground. Get some momentum, and now all of a sudden he forgets all about the weather.
Watched him last week. He just didn't look like himself. Accuracy was off and decision-making was very poor under the circumstances.
Giving a check from the sideline here. First down on the 41. Do they keep it on the ground here with the lead? Miami stacking the box, anticipating. Trubisky rolls to his left, and it's behind the intended receiver. Switzer had a chance to catch it, but couldn't pull it in. And so when you see things like that, you guys both played quarterback, college. When you see things like that, does it start to get into your head? Do you start thinking about last week?
It does, naturally. You'd love to say, hey, I don't think about last week, but when you haven't handled elements well in the past, it sticks with you. So you got to be smart in play calling if you're North Carolina's offense.
Going to be another pass play. They lob it out there to Logan. Breaks one tackle, lowers the shoulder, and collides with Cornelder. So that's a gain of about 5 on the play. It brings up third down. Clock running inside 6 minutes to go here in the fourth. Trubisky to throw, fires, diving catch for a first down by Ryan Switzer. Incredible grab by Switzer to keep the drive alive.
It's Mitch Trubisky's security blanket. Switzer's been so good for so long. Trubisky leaned on him there in a critical down and distance.
Boy, if we're under 6 minutes, fellas, that might be the play of the game when it's all said and done.
No doubt. That's Switzer in motion. They're going to throw it to him. And Switzer trying to get outside. Picks up a couple. Cornelder in run support. Pushed him out at the 45-yard line. And Switzer shaken up on the play.
Look at the passing game right now. Obviously had to throw one on third down to get enough for the first, but everything's been behind the line of scrimmage. High percentage completions. Keep the clock running and keep the offense moving.
That's his 206th career catch. He is now the school record holder in receptions. 2nd and 7. Carolina taking the play clock down to 3. Pressure coming. Trubisky dumps it off to Hood. And Hood able to stretch and get an important extra 2 yards. Elder and Pinckney clocked him. But you see the power of Hood, his importance. At 230 pounds, it's 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 4.
And he stays in bounds, fellas. Clock keeps running. Watch North Carolina now take this play clock into the 10, maybe 8 seconds remaining while this play clock and game clock runs down.
Trubisky to throw on 3rd down and 2, lobbing it, catching it for a first down. Thomas Jackson, the first time they've thrown it to him today, and he pulls it in. 2 big catches on this drive by Jackson and Switzer on 3rd down.
Great play. It's a good lesson for anybody at home. Might not get to play a ton, but Jackson, the junior, when his number's called and the game's on the line, he makes the play for the Tar Heels.
Meanwhile, William Sweet just committed another false start.
5-yard penalty, first down.
That's 7. Again, he's in there for John Heck, the normal starter at right tackle who was injured earlier in the game. So 7 pre-snap penalties. 3 have come in the red zone. And it's first down and 15. Miami calls a timeout. Using the timeout on defense here with the clock stopped because of the penalty. Tonight at 7 Eastern on ESPN, it's Ole Miss and Arkansas. The Razorbacks at home after losing to Alabama last week. Ole Miss the best two-loss team in college football. That's on ESPN tonight. Meanwhile, it's interesting. Miami elected to call a timeout with the clock stopped because of a North Carolina penalty, so they have only 2 remaining. They may need that timeout back. Carolina's got the ball up 7. Ball on the 39-yard line, and in trouble in the backfield is Logan and taken down. Lucas Crowley was pushed back. The ball's on the ground, but they ruled that the running back, Logan, was down. Crowley got pushed back, and Norton and McIntosh were back there. It's a big loss.
And what a great play by McIntosh. Just imposing his will at the line of scrimmage. It's not often on a jet sweep you see a defensive tackle make the play in the backfield. That's explosion by the sophomore.
He had a blocked field goal earlier in the game too, McIntosh. So it's 2nd and 20. They snap it with about 4 on the play clock. Logan nowhere to run, so he heads for the sideline and goes out of bounds. That's a big mistake that time by Logan. You got to just take a seat. Stay in bounds. Let that clock run. Now it's stopped with 2:31 to go.
A little bit of blame needs to go to the offensive coordinator, Chris Kapilovic. Why are you running a sweep into the boundary that could lead your running back out of bounds? Have to keep it between the tackles when you're trying to milk the clock.
And again, they restarted there on the ready for play, but still, that was 10 or 11 seconds there that you cost your team. The play clock is at 9. They're going to snap it with about 2 minutes on the clock. 3rd and 17. Pressure coming. Trubisky grounds it. Was there a receiver in the area? Pressure by Trent Harris. So no grounding. They have not thrown the flag. It is 4th down, and Carolina's going to have to punt in the rain.
So they basically just provided Miami with 2 free timeouts on the last 2 plays.
Yeah, certainly going out of bounds. I mean, they hurt him about 10 to 12 seconds, and now Miami has 2 timeouts, 1:53 to go.
And let's not forget, last week in the elements, the punter for North Carolina, Tom Sheldon, he bobbled a snap and was brought down at his own 4-yard line, which allowed the Hokies to score a touchdown. So in the rain, important for him to secure the snap.
We're going to have a delay of game here, guys.
Now, they did this earlier on accident. This one's on purpose.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
They wanted to give their true freshman punter more room just to kick it and not try to place it.
What really perplexed there, Greg, is to that last play call. You're 3rd and 17. If you run the football between the tackles and you go down, the clock runs. Maybe you force Miami to use a timeout. Instead, you throw a screen into the ground and stop the clock for them.
I'm with you, Lugs. Very questionable, those last couple play calls for the Tar Heels.
Tommy Bancroft. He's the long snapper. Tom Sheldon, true freshman punter. Snap is good, and Sheldon did have a little bit of trouble with it, but this turns out to be a terrific punt, although it goes into the end zone. Did really well just to get that thing down to the 2, but it bounces into the end zone. Again, Sheldon had a little trouble gripping it and ripping it, and so Brad Kaya will have 1:45 seconds, 2 timeouts to go 80 yards and try to tie the ball game. See his numbers now. 7 of 15 doesn't look great, but he's had at least 3 drops here in the 4th quarter. Bottom line is he just looks better this half than he did in the first half.
Much better. Totally different player this half. But this is where you're made as a quarterback. 4th quarters, down, difficult situation. This is where you write your legacy.
Kaya in trouble. Hits Walton at the 25-yard line. The umpire got in the way. Dominic Green hit Walton. The coaches from Miami think that he was out of bounds and was hit late, but no flag. It is a 1st down, so the clock will stop to reset the chains.
Really good job by Brad Kaya getting rid of that football. He took a shot When his offensive lineman got beat badly at the line of scrimmage, he was able to locate. Still plenty of time. Have your whole offense here.
Kaya stepping up, ball's out. He's hit by Carney. Carolina scoops it up. Jeremiah Clark with a recovery. It was Malik Carney with the blow to force the fumble, and the Tar Heels have the ball.
The life going out of Hard Rock Stadium. 53, Malik Carney, situational pass rusher. It's only 230 pounds. He absolutely gets right around Trevor Darling, the left tackle, who's been a little bit banged up. Had a pretty decent day today. If you're a pass rusher, you love the 2-minute drill. And Carney comes up with the huge strip sack.
Miami's not done yet, though. 2 timeouts. Again, if it gets the ball back, there won't be a lot of time, and who knows what the score will be. Carolina's in the red zone. You wonder, though, if they would even take a chance at a kick. Here's Hood to the 15-yard line, and there's a timeout by Mark Richt, leaving Miami with 1. Here's the reaction from Kaya. Frustrated that his team is staring a second straight loss in the face right now.
He's battled, man. Didn't have his best stuff in the first half. Took a beating last week. Got hit time and time again by that Florida State defense. A couple weeks ago against Georgia Tech. Took a lot of hits in that ball game. He's a warrior. Unfortunate that he wasn't able to secure that football in the sack.
Jeremiah Clark took a risk trying to pick that ball up for North Carolina. He eventually got possession. So 1:25 remaining. You would imagine Carolina's just going to run the ball here, force Miami to call another timeout, run it again to take the clock then down to about 40 seconds before making a decision on what to do on 4th down, if there is a 4th down. Virginia Tech was losing to Syracuse by 14 points. So if that holds up, Tech will be 2-1. Pitt will be 2-1, and Carolina will be 3-1. Miami plays at Virginia Tech on Thursday night on ESPN. So needless to say, the Coastal is up for grabs. Clemson still in command of the Atlantic after that overtime win against North Carolina State earlier today on ABC. Who's the best team in the Coastal, you think?
Right now, I'd have to say North Carolina with this performance.
Here's Hood again, bouncing off tacklers. And I get what you're saying, because last week, even though it was Virginia Tech hammering North Carolina, it was so hard to gauge. And that kind of weather, which team's going to handle it better? Clearly, Carolina didn't handle it well, and they turned the ball over 4 times. Been no turnovers in this game. So in 5 of their 6 games, they've had a total of 4 turnovers. They had the 4 last week. Trubisky threw a deep ball here to Matt Hollins, who was shaken up on the play, and that led to a Switzer touchdown. Miami came back, though. A rush touchdown for Yearby. Got them within 7. And then on 4th down, Carolina tries to go for it. They don't get in. And then on the last series, the forced fumble and recovery by Carolina to perhaps put this one away, with the Heels leading by 7. A frustrated Brad Kaya. But they may need him again here. You look at the numbers today. Again, Kaya had a lot of drops in this game. No turnovers for Trubisky. 2 picks last week, 58 yards, over 300 yards passing this week. Here's Hood on 3rd and 12. The Canes can't stop him, and Hood gets the first down and basically ends the game. Great run by Elijah Hood, and we talked at the outset of the game why he's so important, because TJ Logan's a $190, their other running back. Hood's 230, and you saw him break tackles there to move the sticks. There's an injured Miami player. It's Jamal Carter.
Can't get over what a great run that was by Elijah Hood. He got stopped in his tracks. Still 4 yards short of the line to gain. He just willed his way to a first down.
This has really been an impressive win by North Carolina if the Heels hold on here. To lose by 30-plus points at home, have to play another road game against a team that had a heartbreaking loss to its rival, and for Mitch Trubisky to bounce back. I mean, you kept saying all week you think this guy is one of the better quarterbacks in college football, and he looked like it today.
He's outstanding, and he's going up against a very good defense that affects quarterbacks in a lot of different ways because they hit you, they blitz you, they cover you extremely well in the secondary. So his performance today has been outstanding, but considering who the performance has been against, that makes it even more impressive.
Greg, there are going to be a lot of people that look at this game and look at last week and see it's the same old Canes. They can't get the glory back. Are you on that train, or are we seeing a different Miami team? I know it's early. We're just getting a snapshot of the Mark Richt era. And do you think this is a team that'll end up with 9-10 wins, or are we looking at an 8-5, 9-4 type season?
They have everything you want. They have a good running game, really good along the defensive line, a little inexperienced at linebacker, but talented nonetheless, really good in the secondary. They didn't play well in the first half today, and that was obviously a big reason why it's looking like they're going to fall to the Tar Heels. But this is a talented football team, and Mark Richt is an outstanding coach. He's going to build Miami into a winner. I think a perennial championship contender by the time it's all said and done. The fan support is there. They're getting the facilities where they need to be. Once the facilities get there, the players will come. And Miami will, I think, become a force in the very near future.
$30 million practice facility that Mark Richt and his wife donated $1 million towards.
No, one area, fellas, where I think they are very deficient, and as the season wears on, they could get exposed, is in the offensive line. They've already suffered some injuries. They've struggled in pass protection. They haven't been able to keep Brad Kaya consistently off the ground. Those shots begin to take their toll. And I think a lot of the reason why they have a good run game is because those running backs are really good as well.
Trubisky takes a knee. Miami can't stop the clock. So the North Carolina Tar Heels improved to 5-2, 3-1 in the ACC Coastal. Miami, after being ranked number 10 going into last week, has now dropped 2 in a row at home. Final score from Miami: Carolina 20, Canes 13. For Greg McElroy, Tom Luganbill, our entire crew, I'm Dave Pasch saying so long. Big win for Carolina, bouncing back after that home loss to Virginia Tech. Now we go back to the studio.